Hey, welcome everybody to the next episode of Lightbringer. So tonight's episode is Whispers in the Dark, in light of what happened last episode, where we had Conrad and Xavier having a little visit from a ghostly, shadowy, creepy dark figure. When we left off, I believe the debate, and I can't remember if there was an actual decision, so we'll find out in just a minute. The debate was go back home, resupply, and then go into the dark tunnel of death, or just send a message home and then go down the dark tunnel of death. I think were the two main options that they were debating. So we're going to find out what they do. Before we jump into that, though, a couple things to cover for you all as viewers. There's a number of ways that you can actually interact with the show and the story and affect it. So one way, you may have just seen me post up there the tweet of the game, which is right there. For every like, retweet, and comment we have on that tweet, for every 5 interactions that are those 3 things, the cast and me as the DM will get a D4 that we can add to any roll at any time. It's pretty cool. Other ways that you can interact with the game are through guild coins, and those are earned just by watching the show. I can't remember if you earn them from chatting and things like that, but as far as how Twitch has it work, the more you interact with the stream and the more you do with us, the more points you earn. And then you also get them just for watching. Subscribers, I believe, get double as well. Anyways, if you look at the little rainbow-colored token below your Twitch chat, you should be able to click on that, and it'll show you some options of what you can do there with those guild coins. There's some fun stuff in there. And then finally, you can interact through donating, and that counts from direct donations through raven.rocks or coffee.com/raven, which you can see right down there. Also bits, subscriptions, and also if you are a patron on our Patreon, which you have a link right there. Bard tier and up patrons also get credits that go towards viewer actions each month. So lots of cool ways that you can interact, and you can all of that helps to support the stream as well. Currently, just as a reminder for everyone, the cast has 1 Switch, and that's it. I have a D6 and a Switch. Switches allow players or the GM to switch the action word that somebody else is trying to do. So let's say somebody was going to try to throw something down a scary tunnel. The other person could call out a switch, and they have to change throw to something that's not a synonym. There's some other cool stuff in there as well, like borrowed success, where they auto succeed at something, but based on some rolls later in the game, they may lose a success later. Just a lot of really cool stuff like that. All that being covered, we're going to do some character and player introductions. So starting with Michael, tell us a little bit about Billy and yourself.
Hello there, I'm Michael Wayne. I will be playing Billy Bliss, who is the freaked out one that wants everyone to go back home and resupply before entering the murder hole. You can see me about the internet, mostly on Twitter. And roughly, you give me a clip, I'll give you a chip. You give me a clip, I will give you a GIF. And I'm going to go back to freaking out while everybody else introduces themselves.
All right. Next up, we've got Econorlax. Tell us a little bit about Nira and yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'll start with myself. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Okay.
No, you're good.
My name is Econorlax. You can find me under this name on Twitter and here on Twitch. But as for now, I mostly play RPG games here at Blackfeather Guild. I'm playing Nira. She's white Kataran kitten in the most sneakable size of tiny. No, maybe she's like 2 feet, so yeah.
Something like that.
She's wearing dusty leather coat that looks like it's way older than her. She was already a little known in town for being a thief, and because she adamantly held to the statement she was training to be scavenger, the party considers her to have the experience in tunnel she really doesn't. So she's also not quite sure how she feels about that tunnel of death, and she agrees with Billy. We should go to town, but she feels like the answer to what happened with Xavier and Ben Kalan. Wait, that's
Conrad,
Conrad.
we're coming back.
Yeah, lies in the mines, not in the town. So we have to go back to adventuring, and that's all.
Okay. Perfect. And then Gwen, tell us a little bit about Xavier and yourself. I think you're muted.
Xavier is a very, very curious person. Xavier is, I can't remember the race.
Arcarian.
Arcarian? Yes, Arcarian. Bluish black with a tail. Yeah. And Xavier's very curious. So curious about this tunnel.
Yes.
He wants to go down it.
You could say he's as curious as a cat.
Mm.
Well, some cats more than others.
But you can find me mainly on Twitter and Twitch at Quintado. So, yeah.
Awesome. And last but not least, we've got Callan. Tell us a little about Conrad and yourself.
Hello. Today I will be taking up the role of Conrad Bentley, a very nervous and now haunted boy. Excited to see how this next little leg of the journey plays out. Last episode, 2 weeks ago, we had a lot of fun getting to know everybody and being visited by a dark specter of death. So who knows what's next? There's an evil tunnel waiting.
Yes.
So that'll be very interesting.
We don't know it's evil.
Well, we have some assumptions.
It involves death, so it's got to involve some evil.
Yeah, I kind of like Michael's sort of characterization of it as the murder hole. That's pretty apt, I feel.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
In all fairness, I have implied heavily that it is evil.
Bad, yeah. Not
Bad,
good.
Not good. There you go. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Very murdery hole.
Very murdery. I am Callan. You can find me here for Lightbringer and at Twitter at my little name. Very excited to see how the gang gets out of this one.
Me too. I have been looking forward to this for 2 weeks since I was horribly sick last week. Still not 100%, but I am getting better. I am up to doing this tonight, which I was very happy about because, this is just a super fun game with a great cast. So with that, I'm Raven. I'm a tabletop streamer, tabletop designer, professional game master. I do a bunch of other stuff too. You can find out all about it on my Twitter, which is right below my face. And I'm here Monday through Saturday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern for various tabletop shows and a couple other different things here and there as well. Also, I can talk about this now. You can also find me on Encounter Roleplay at, I believe, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, if I remember correctly, for a Star Trek show over on Encounter Roleplay. So that'll be every Friday as well.
Yeah.
Where I'll be playing
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be playing a Bajoran engineer with a Cardassian on the crew. So that'll be very, very interesting.
Cardassian?
Yeah, we're gonna have a Cardassian
Keeping
on the
up
crew.
with the
Cardassians.
Yeah. Excellent. Off to a strong start, gang.
Yeah, just a little bit of conflict. All right, cool. So we're gonna jump right in. So when we left off last time, you were all sort of debating on what you should do. Should you send a letter home to let your folks know what's happened? I'm pretty sure Conrad's convinced that he and Xavier are just gonna die. You've been infected with something is the assumption.
The assumption is that we're death spreaders.
You're not spreading death.
Though it should be clarified, the GM has not confirmed any of this. So
Yes.
Yeah, we're just speculating widely.
yeah, so there's a lot of
baseless
speculation,
conjecture of terrified children.
which is fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
So I will sort of hit unpause there. You've debated about what to do. So what is the decision that you want to make?
Right. Well, all right, everybody. Just to clarify everything, because it feels like we've been in this tunnel for a moment. Okay, so we were visited, myself and Xavier, by a grim specter of death. We've been over that part.
Not death, Mothman.
Okay, we were visited by the Mothman, of a creature of dubious intent. Very clearly marked by whatever this was. Perhaps more than just us, but we know that at least it was Xavier and I. We fear that perhaps we may be contagious in some capacity. Well, we have reason to believe from the history books that people don't tend to survive the ordeal that we are sort of embarking upon now. That's right, Xavier.
Yes.
Not
That's
optimistic
quite-
diagnosis.
Yeah, but that's probably why we should resupply, because we only got a couple days worth of things versus having a lifetime of supplies. Since if we're not gonna go back home, I'd rather have us have at least a week's worth instead of a couple of days before we all die.
And that is why me and Billy will go to town, while you will wait
yes.
on the outskirts.
A lifetime worth of supplies for people that are not going to live very much longer. Yes.
Yeah, we might already have that. Like 3 meals could be it.
You're not gonna die, Conrad.
Right, of course, Billy, of course.
I'm
We're
not
just
convinced.
clarifying. We're just getting it all out there, sort of laying everything out. I believe that the plan that we had come to was that we had accepted that Xavier and I were perhaps too dangerous to re-enter greater society for fear that we may spread whatever this is. We've been careful to sort of keep our distance from the rest of our compatriots on this journey back. And we had thought perhaps we could write some letters to our families to let them know what's happening as you two make your way into town and collect whatever supplies you can for us to go back on this big journey. That was where we are. I do have a slight complication to add to all of this, though. And it's one that I may need some help unpacking and understanding. In a baffling turn of events, I kind of want to go down the murder hole.
I kind of with you, but let's get
kind of very much want to go down the murder hole in a way that sort of defies any explanation. I sort of very much want to go down this murder hole, and I think I need some help in that regard.
Yes, I very much want to join you.
Right. I mean, I don't want to. It's like I think more in the sense
what's there, but first we need supplies.
Yeah. We get
We can
supplies, then
go
murder.
with supplies when we are better prepared to check what's inside.
all of the things you're saying are making sense. I think the issue here is that this compulsion is not one of logic. I want to go in the same way that a rock, when released, wants to fall to the ground.
It's like gravity.
Okay, so I need to tie you to my back so you don't fall.
Well, I mean, that would,
is one solution.
that would likely do it.
Billy starts pulling out rope.
This makes sense. Yes, I kind of. Well, hang on. This is maybe breaking the rules of our contagion, though. Our sort of quarantine. Perhaps toss me the rope and I'll tie myself up.
Okay. Pulls out enough to like make a little lasso, throws it over the head, and then throws it over.
Ah! This is
Perfect.
how dignified. And I'll just hog tie myself. Then don't mind me.
Just push it down towards your waist. You don't want it near the neck. That's not fun.
Ah, yes, the center of mass. Excellent work.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Still kind of want to go down the hole.
And maybe one for me. Because I
think,
I definitely feel like I want to go down the hole.
I think at this point, Magic would probably speak up as well and be like, yeah, this seems like a good idea that, you know, just if you tie yourselves up, then we don't have to worry about you, like, running away or, like, coughing on us or stuff like that. And,
Yes.
and I think I'm all for, like I could go into town and get you supplies because I'm not infected.
Oh, thank you, Magic, for volunteering for Xavier. Here's a rope. And then just throws a pile of rope at Magic's feet.
No, I meant like
Yeah,
Xavier
you got
should tie it.
Xavier. I got Conrad. It's good.
I don't want to get infected though.
That's what the rope's for. You keep the distance.
It just makes sense.
Mm. I
Okay.
concur with this logic. This logic is flawless.
Hey! Thanks so much, April Dawn, for that resub. 2 months, that's amazing. Twitch Prime sub as well. Thank you very much. How would you like to allocate that $5? Oh, cool! And Alex got a cool emote from it too. That's fantastic. So Magic will sort of hesitantly tie up Xavier, sort of standing way back, and doesn't do a very good job because he's trying not to touch Xavier at all.
Self up.
Fantastic. Also, a Busta Rhyme was redeemed for Billy, so 5 minutes on the clock for rhyming. So Michael, basically, you just got to rhyme
Okay,
for 5 minutes.
hold on with the timing. Let me at least get the laugh out first.
Rhyme laughing?
Well, slaughter and laughter, they go together.
That's an incredibly Billy thing to do.
You're not wrong. All right. Timer is started, and thank you, April. I will get those on the counter here on the screen here for you.
Well,
So that's a D6 to the cast, and a switch to me. Ooh, I've got 2 switches to play with now.
Oh, this is too much power.
That's not me.
Come on.
Very scared.
Yeah. Come on, let's go to town so we don't turn out brown.
Hmm. Oh, that's
Ooh.
grisly, I think. Strong start. All of us, everyone. I feel much more confident than I did waking up this morning. But huzzah, let's go.
Don't worry, we'll find a cure for this. I'm sure.
Yes, certainly. But probably not in the same place that we're finding sort of food, but one thing before the other. Hey, chums?
Don't worry, my dad. He'll have the cure and be real rad.
Magic chimes in and goes, oh, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You can't find a cure on an empty stomach, so, like, this seems like a good idea. We just leave you tied up outside, and we'll go get food and bring it back, and then we can go find the cure.
This makes a lot of sense.
Yes, let us flee to the tree.
Is Billy all right? I think he needs to eat. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Billy, are you like smelling toast or anything right now?
Well, I would think I am compelled in this rhyme in as much in the same way they want to go into the hole after a time.
That was. I don't know what you're doing, but that was fairly good.
Yeah, I mean this whole rhyming thing is pretty cool.
I think
I
I'm
mean,
just
it-
a fool if I thought it was cool.
I mean, like he was singing the last time we came up this way, so I suppose the rhymes. There is some precedent for this. I do think we all need to eat, though.
So
Yeah.
it's like
Yes,
a
let's flee
geological
to the
thing.
tree.
The tree.
The
Whatever
rhymes
that
are geological in nature. Seems.
it would seem. Let's
Well,
away.
Yeah, I guess everybody's got their theme. So let's go. Magic starts heading back towards town.
Out of character, that's the tree house, to be clear, by the tree.
Okay.
The clubhouse?
Close
Yeah,
enough.
Have we even seen a tree in our lives?
Well, even if we aren't free to
Excuse me.
see a tree, we call our club a
Maybe we
home
painted
for
a
us to
tree.
roam. Otherwise, we'll probably not have something to hang, and we'll just be left orang.
Performing admirably. I mean, maybe we like painted a tree up on one of the walls. It seems like
Oh.
Mm.
something a bunch of sort of wistful kids dreaming about the surface might do.
So a bit of a world lore interjection here. There probably are trees, but they are more like scrub oak in nature. They're very stunted and short because there's not a whole lot of light underground.
That's why I asked.
So yeah, probably seen trees, but not like what we would think of as trees.
Well, maybe let's assume a tree house is a traditional name for all kid club houses, and we even don't know why.
I like it.
Excellent. Okay, so Xavier and I will sort of wait in the clubhouse while you all find your way into town and collect some supplies. Is that it?
And magic might be guarding you, so you don't run back to the hole.
Oh,
I do feel a very strong compulsion to run into the hole.
we would be totally fine. Look, we're bound up. Magic has a family to tend to as well, and some supplies to collect.
Well,
Yeah, I get it.
here's the turn. We'll go each with a word, and so in turn, Magic's here, while we'll go there.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll just tie up the door from the outside so they can't get out, and then I can go, talk to my family and.
After
seems-
me, then
No,
there'll
we
be
just take turns.
You all have
Okay,
families
sure.
to attend to. This is we
each
have a
family in turn, and will be the word. So after I go, you would in turn.
we have a limited amount of time to try and get all of this done. We can't be wasting it. If Xavier and I have 3 days to live, I don't want to spend sort of the first of them, each of you one by one, wandering through the city. We have a lot to collect. You all need to
Hey.
go.
Your
I was-
art is your mark, so have your eyes on the prize there, while we go anywhere else. Else.
You
Ah!
are inspiring me with
I turn to everyone else. You like, if we take turns, that means that Billy will be alone in the city in his current condition for several
So-
hours. Are you certain?
You are right.
Okay, I'll go with
in
Billy.
that I should not be the light and go last while everyone else goes fast.
It's been 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, I'm enjoying this too much right now.
He's back.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it. Thank you, Alex, for spending those guild coins. That was amazing. Okay. So it sounds like regardless, Magic's got first watch. So we've got Conrad and Xavier tied up in the treehouse, and Billy and Nira are going into town. So let's start with
Excellent.
Billy and Nira. What do you do as you go into town?
Okay, Nira, should we go to Conrad's since their home is nearer?
Okay. The thing is, so you wrote the letters?
Oh, I suppose I.
Pulls out 2 pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Well,
Conrad,
they're
he is in.
here, so we can leave them there like leaves.
I'm good at sneaking and stealing things, so I can leave some things instead for the change.
Yeah. Xavier already wrote his letter a while ago.
Yeah.
Nira, that's perfect. You can make this work in a muffin. No, that's not perfect. Damn. Oh, I can say things normally again. Okay, Nira. Here's the plan. You'll go into Xavier's home, and you just sneak in and put the message there.
Yes,
That
that
way-
is the plan.
Yeah, they won't see you and hear you, and they'll just have a message and think, "Oh, Xavier left there, and that's why it happened." They came back. There's nothing wrong with Xavier.
Yeah, they will be sure they're all right.
Yeah, because he left a message, and then we'll be back again. It's fine.
I'm not sure what has he written in the message, but
Well,
let's-
here.
Okay, and I'm going.
All right.
Wait. You will go to Conrad's house,
Yes, and then
okay?
we can
And we're
go-
meeting back here.
Yes, and then I'll go with you to your house, and you can come with me to my
and
house.
my ears drop. Well, that's. I'm not. I don't have exactly. Well, I don't have exactly a house.
That's okay. A hole's nice too. I've lived in a hole for a while. It's not as roomy, but you can make it work.
There was this nice family that took care of me a little when my parents died. So
Well, okay, we'll talk to them then.
okay.
Good plan. And then Billy just runs off to hopefully go to Conrad's house while Nira's at Xavier's house.
Yeah, hopefully no one interacts with Xavier's moms.
So Nira, are you? Did I understand that right? That you're going to try to sneak into Xavier's
Yeah,
room
exactly.
to
That
leave the
was
message?
plan. Yes.
Let me get a nimbleness roll from you, because as I recall, Xavier lives on the second floor of the house. Or his room is on the second floor of the house. So we'll need to scale that wall.
Yes.
22.
And, finally,
problems.
I cut like Rose.
Yes. Yeah, you climb up the wall, no problem. And then let's do a blend in roll to see how quiet you are as you drop off this
Use an
this
advantage,
message.
please.
You've got a d6 that you
Oh,
could
wait.
use. Oh,
Do we have that?
Yikes.
even with a
dimension?
6, that's not going to succeed.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. We didn't have an advantage.
No.
We did
Not currently.
Okay, so
Sad.
Alright.
I'm not using.
Bad
a
news is-
D6.
Bad news is, as you climb through the window, you step onto this pile of books that Xavier had sort of left out, presumably trying to decide, which ones to take and which ones to leave. And it's very unstable, so as soon as you put your weight on it, it just collapses, and you sort of stumble into the room, and it makes a little bit of a racket. Not like a huge crash, but enough that somebody might have heard it.
I'm
gonna roll
dropping a
real
letter
quick and-
on, dropping a letter on any any surface that seems like properly visible and scram through the window.
You've got the option of the desk or the bed.
Whatever is closer.
I think the desk is
window.
probably a little bit closer
Then
from
the
where
desk
you've landed.
and I'm no, maybe jumping through the window is a bad idea. Jumping on the window and back climbing down.
Okay, let's do. Are you trying to do this as quietly as possible, or are you erring on the side of?
No.
Haste.
I clearly mentioned speed.
Okay, then in that case, just roll nimbleness, and we'll see how quickly you can scramble out of the room. Good news is it doesn't seem like anybody's heard you.
Yeah, nimbleness
Yeah.
is definitely better than. I'm more nimble than quiet.
Yeah, you make a little bit of noise as you escape the room. However, you don't hear anybody walking up the stairs or anything like that, and you get out no problem. So
Well,
you've-
I'm not waiting to see if my hearing was good.
That, however, makes me worried.
so yeah, you got out good. Mission completed. We'll hop over to Billy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I'm hiding behind the corner.
Okay.
And only then I stop running.
Okay. Yeah, you're fine. Nobody pays attention to you. Mission successful. Billy, you're heading over to Conrad's house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you trying to sneakily leave the message, or are you going to hand it to somebody? Or
No.
of course not.
Would you think Billy would do anything quiet?
No. I had to ask. Okay, so how do you approach this?
I knock on the door going, Conrad's mom!
So we're going to say Conrad's uncle opens the door. The same one that you saw earlier.
Hello, Conrad's uncle.
Hi, Billy?
Yeah!
Okay, yeah, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for Conrad's mom. I got a message to leave that with.
Oh, she's not here. I mean, I could take the message and give it to her.
Okay, well, we need more supplies. We found a trail that looks to be really good, so we're gonna be out there longer. You know how Conrad is. He gets this. So right now we're holed up at the clubhouse. So he's making devices and stuff. So we're finding everything, and it's like just so that we're safe. We want to get some more supplies, so that everyone's safe. Because we don't want to be getting a case where we get hurt and then we're late for school when we come back. Now, that'd just be dumb, wouldn't you think?
So many keywords.
Right. Is this some sort of like game you're playing in that old building?
Yes! Game!
Roll charm for me, Michael.
I really hope I failed it. Okay. And I can't say like it could be speech instead, too, correct?
No, you're trying to make him believe that everything's on the level.
I had to try because I have 0.
An 8. Right. All right. So where's Conrad?
In the clubhouse.
Okay. And you need supply. What kind of supplies do you need for what now?
You know, like food and stuff. Like, it was planned just to be one day thing, but now it's going to turn out to be like we need to get for the entire weekend thing, so that way we get a good grade on our project. So,
Wait.
if we find back,
Oh, this is
find
for
some-
a school project?
yeah, that's what the whole game's about. You don't ever
Okay.
do like the whole research thingies where you got to write down the things so you know the things. and you
Oh
do
yeah.
experiments.
Now that you mention it, I do think I remember Conrad's mom saying something about a camping trip or something. Well, there's canned goods in the pantry if you want to come in and grab some.
Thank you. And Billy just runs through to the kitchen and grabs like a big handful, puts it in the backpack, and runs out. Thank you.
Does Billy look to see what he's grabbing, or just grabs it and shoves it in?
Grabs just like, I think it's a case of where like had the backpack. Oh, then grab the entire shelf, puts it in the
Supermarket
backpack.
sweep.
Okay.
Because so far we've established this backpack can hold everything. So let's go for funny.
Everything so far.
Yeah, you got 18 cans of something. We'll figure that out later. But yeah, you got 18 cans of food in your bag, and the uncle's just sort of doing this sort of like turning around to watch you go into the kitchen and holding up a finger like I'm gonna say something, but you're already gone, and and now you're back out the door. You're welcome. You kids, be safe. And he just closes the door. Okay. While this is happening, Conrad and Xavier being tied up and sort of apprehended in the clubhouse by yourselves. What's this conversation look like right now?
Was it made clear who was going where? I think, as we discussed it, Nira would be sort of making her way to my home. I only worry that perhaps Billy's particular brand of subterfuge might not result in sort of the desired outcome that we're after. I just hope he doesn't sort of, I don't know. I'm just a little worried. This needs to be handled sort of delicately. The forces of the supernatural are sort of intersecting with me getting in trouble with my family and perhaps the school. I'm just nervous.
No, totally
I don't think I'm kind of very much worried about that since I'm already in trouble. More than likely.
Why would you be in trouble? I thought you got the okay from your mothers. Did you tell a mistruth, Xavier?
Kinda.
Okay. All right. Hey, I sort of like bound to kind of wiggle over a little bit closer.
Yeah, I'm not so much worried about getting in trouble as having them come after me, because they used to be adventurers.
Right. Perhaps they would have the means to sort of track us down. I'd actually not considered that. That's deeply worrying. If sort of word gets out that we've gone AWOL, as it were, I hadn't even. I was already afraid of a lot of things, but that hadn't actually entered my my sort of list. Thank you for putting that squarely on top of the rest of it. The idea that all the people we care about could be pursuing us into the dangerous places we're going.
I wanted to go fast and not. I wanted to be near the surface by now, but here we are.
There is some small comfort in this. In all the many years that I have known them, Billy does everything fast. So, regardless of if he is lying or telling the truth or just sort of ransacking our homes, he should make quick work of it.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I'm more worried about getting, down the murder hole.
Yes. Well, it's sort of tied up, edging a little bit closer. I had perhaps considered some subterfuge of our own.
That wouldn't be advisable.
Well, listen. Okay, so there's a dark force kind of bending our will. You know, the specter of death, the Mothman. You know the one.
Yeah.
I just worry. I worry. Obviously, that sort of goes without saying. But I worry that we're placing our friends in danger. That there are cases in nature, in medicine, where one can be sort of protected from a great danger by receiving a small amount of it. You can sort of build a resistance to it.
Oh, yeah, like an inoculation.
Right. Like our flu shots or whatever else. I fear perhaps that when we meet that sort of Reaper again, that they may sort of cut down our good friends and leave us for whatever dark purpose we were meant for. They had felt, only you and I seem to feel that compulsion to go down the tunnel, and I worry that.
And yes, I don't think we should have our friends come with us. I think you're right.
Right. No, but also they definitely should be with us because we're frail and tiny. Is the other thing. It's sort of I'm of two minds for the first time in my life. I normally just have the one sort of. People talk about the fight or flight, right? That sort of immediate response to danger. Right. I've never felt that. I've never understood any ambiguity to be part of the equation. It's the flight response.
Yeah.
And sort of if flight won't do, running or crawling in this case. I've never before felt a compulsion to go somewhere dangerous, and I fear maybe that my words themselves could be a result of this compulsion. I'm glad I'm tied up.
Yeah, same.
I have a quick question for Conrad. Would you say that you feel particularly powerless in this moment?
I would have to think so. Yes.
Okay. Do me a favor. Roll magic engineering.
I mean, they don't feel the same.
Wait, this can't be right. Magic engineering? Oh, okay. All right, there we go. Sorry, I saw mechanical and it was very high. Conrad is not that magical. +6. Okay, excellent. Powerful.
8?
Strong start. Big 8.
Okay. As you're sort of talking and you sort of wrap up.
Do you want me to roll as well?
Probably in just a little bit. Need to see what happens with this first. So Conrad, as you're wrapping up your sort of thoughts, and sort of having that feeling of, especially talking about the flight or flight faster response, those sort of feelings, you start to realize that your arms, especially like around your wrists, feel particularly cold.
Oh.
And depending on how you're tied up, if you're able to see it, you might notice that there's like little like ice crystals, like frost, all over the ropes, right there on your arms.
Conrad, that does not look very good.
What's wrong?
Your wrist.
What's the matter?
Got ice on
No,
it.
I sprained it on the way down on an icicle.
Conrad, you are not very good at lying.
No, I'm not. These are my burgeoning dark powers. Is that what you want me to say?
That's not what I want you to say, but it's
quite literally the only thing I can say. Nothing magic. Everything's fine. We're just plotting. All is well.
Please don't. Please don't. Please.
Everything is okay. Everything's fine.
I don't. I don't think everything is fine. I'm highly concerned.
So, Xavier, would you say that you feel particularly frightened or anxious at the moment?
Yes, and yes.
Okay, roll magic engineering.
So that is a nat 20. God.
Okay.
I was not.
Not
I was not expecting that. No. So that's
Nor was
22
I.
total.
Excuse me. So yeah, your ropes basically shatter and fall to little rope icicles all over the ground.
Uh,
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 um,
I'm concerned.
You hear a knock on the door. Are y'all all right in there?
No,
Yes.
I'm not alright.
Oh, wait, which is it?
everything is well.
It's not.
Well, I mean, Conrad doesn't really lie, so I'm gonna go with Conrad's answer.
Well, everything in this room is happening as I expected it would.
Perfect. Okay. I'm just gonna go back to reading my book then.
Wonderful.
Conrad starts. Xavier starts walking towards the door.
Xavier, good friend.
Yeah.
Yes. Now that you're a dark wizard, I feel like we sort of have a branching path set before us. With great power and all the rest of it, responsibility and everything else. If I would humbly be your servant if you mean to take over this world.
I'd rather not take over this world. I'm not interested in that.
You have mastered the dark arts, so you could if you put your mind to it. Otherwise, I think I have sort of been presented with the sort of the hubris of my fears. The thought that you or I could using any of these gifts strive out alone and accomplish anything besides kind of just dying in the darkness as we flail around. I think we should sit down.
I think this actually gives me confidence that we could take on.
No, I don't think so.
Yes.
Actually, no. I think maybe.
I think we have a strength that we did not have before.
In a manner of speaking, yes. In the same way that that people that accidentally build their homes, in the same way that people that accidentally build their homes near volcanic activity have an unknown strength. Yes, it's certainly something we didn't know about, and it's certainly a lot. To say that it is ours is perhaps a stretch.
Call me a dark wizard.
Yes, I mean, listen, there's a lot happening here. Here's what I propose, Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
You're a student of logic, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, did you mean to conjure icicles and break out of your restraints?
No.
Then perhaps we don't fully understand how this works. Yes?
Correct.
Correct. So, if
That
this
means
was a
we need
field
to
of
try harder.
if this was a field of study, the first thing we need to establish would be
An experiment.
a control. A baseline. Yes?
Yeah.
And all good scientific endeavors need observation, need people to document them. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. So our friends will be there to study us, to learn what is happening to us, and should we survive or should we fall, the world will learn more about our endeavors. If we go on alone, I don't think there's any chance that this knowledge is of any use, right?
True. Very true.
I also do want to go in the murder hole. Again, that's kind of just racking around up here. Really
I
kind of
know,
throwing a
I
spanner in the
know,
works.
It's horrible, isn't it?
It's super
it's-
tough, right?
It's just
This is hard.
a compulsion. I walks to the door. I really just want to go.
We shouldn't, though.
No, we shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't.
And yet I want to.
Quick question for Conrad. Are you feeling
Oh no.
Are you feeling like you want to definitely not experiment with this power at the moment, or are you starting to feel more curious about it?
More scared than curious.
Okay. Then I will say I will not have you make a roll.
Okay, excellent.
Xavier
Right.
is more curious than scared.
I feel like that's the dynamic we've established.
Yes. For the sake of ease of explanation, out of character, currently this is working on instinctual level rather than a conscious level.
Yeah.
So that's why I ask, how are you feeling? Because you don't have control over whatever this is
Right.
yet.
Xavier is incredibly curious.
Conrad sort of sits up against the wall, a little bit of frost still on the ropes, and says, Xavier, I wouldn't want you to go anywhere alone, but I think we should all be together for this next part. I'll respect your wishes if you want to go, but I'd rather you stay here.
I'd rather I stay here too, but I want to go.
Well,
I don't know. I'm conflicted. Very, very conflicted.
I believe this is what being a teenager is. I never really understood this sort of hubbub until now, but this is really hard to like want to do something and then also not want to do that thing. There's never been any of this sort of conflict in my life leading up till now. This sucks really bad.
You said it. It really does suck.
It's really, does everyone do this? Oh my goodness.
I hope not, because this is really, really bad. I've never experienced this before, ever.
Ugh. No, thank you.
No.
Okay. I imagine it's been a little while now, so Billy and Nira, I'd say feel free to jump in at any point. You're getting close to the treehouse.
I would think kind of like we agreed we'd meet up, and then
Yes.
we're going to Billy's home first, and then try to maybe perhaps go to Nira's hole.
Yeah, the conclusion
Okay.
sort of there is just like Conrad is just wanting to get sort of some affirmation that like Xavier is willing to stay, even though we both agree that we kind of want to go.
Okay.
But Conrad is content as long as Xavier having said like, you know, that they would rather stay even though they want to go. I think Conrad sort of relaxes a little and leans back against the wall.
Okay.
Xavier is just pacing, paces towards Conrad, and then sharply turns and paces towards the door, and then paces towards Conrad, and then like, I really want to go, but I don't want to
I
go.
love it.
But I want to go, but I don't want to go.
Okay.
That's us.
Perfect. We'll pan over to Billy and Nira meeting up then in town. So you've both accomplished your missions. And
First, before we'll meet, I will check if nobody's following me. I need to be thorough.
yeah, you check and there's nobody following you.
Okay, so we meet at the established place.
Okay, so is the plan we go to your home first?
Well,
Or my
not
home
really.
first.
I was trying to say that I sort of already left. When I was leaving first time, I already left the message saying I left. So I left. Well, I left.
Oh, so you told them you were never gonna come back already.
No, I just wrote a message that I'm old enough to go on my way now.
Okay, so you don't want to say goodbye because you already said
Yes,
goodbye.
exactly. Yes.
Okay, that makes me a little bit more nervous now talking to my dad now, because at least if we were going to yours, I could say, oh, we're just checking in with everybody, but this kind of gives a definition to that. We're never really gonna go home, and I'm not sure I can.
I never said I'm not going back. I just said I was old enough to scavenge on my own. Scavenge implies selling things. You know how scavenging works. Your father is scavenger.
Yeah. Okay. Just so
I'm old enough to live on my own. That doesn't mean not coming back.
Okay, let me just so that I don't lie to my dad. We'll just say, hey, this right here is my scavenging buddy.
Your father
And-
knows me. Everybody in town knows me.
Yeah, and
Unfortunately.
we're just going off to find more scavenging, right? We'll come back eventually.
Scavengers come, scavengers go, scavengers come back.
Yeah,
It's a natural thing in life, yes?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, if I get nervous, can I hold your hand while trying to talk to my dad?
I'll be standing beside your leg all the time.
Okay. I'm okay with that. Just if I get nervous, I'll reach down and grab your hands, okay? Okay.
Okay. I will be
So
holding
wholesome.
it high up.
I would think kind of like you're just half Billy's size. So it's like reaching down to probably be about your shoulder to try to hold on.
Billy's pretty big too, right?
Yes, that's you know, we'll do better. I'll just hop you on your arm and you'll feel better.
Oh,
Because I will feel closer.
yes. Oh, yeah. You're on my shoulder. Yeah.
Oh.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. So I'm hopping on his backpack and just sit on his shoulder.
All right, fantastic.
Okay, time to talk to dads. Okay. Dad, Papa, I'm back for a moment.
Let's say the
Good
big
afternoon,
muscular
Mr. Bliss.
muscular one opens the door. I can't remember what name we gave him.
Other
now.
dad.
Other dad.
Oh, that's right. It was just other dad. Billy,
Yeah.
you're back. Good to see you.
Good afternoon.
Oh, hi, Nira.
Hey, would you be okay with us holding on to the tent for a bit longer and getting more supplies? I think we got a good idea on where to find some good
Yeah, we have a
scavenge.
trail.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I didn't expect you all back until tomorrow, so
Well, like, we need to get supplies, because otherwise, like, I think we found a path, and we might not be back tomorrow. So that's why we need to get extra supplies to be safe. Because,
okay.
and that way, like, when we come back, we can get a good grade on the school thingy. Because we did all the experiments and stuff and found some good scrap and everything.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
look at that. I'm showing my 2-po axe.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a good find. All right. Well, you know,
Yeah.
just make sure you don't go past level 2, and you can miss one day of school. It'll be fine. It's supposed to be a half day that day anyways, I think. It's what I heard, some holiday or whatnot.
Yeah. I think, like, wasn't it like Solstice Day? I think, it doesn't make much sense to me.
Something like that. I never really pay much attention to all those holidays and whatnot.
Yeah, but like, well, you guys know better. And like, what would be good supplies like we should take to because this is essentially we're going on our own because it's not actually level 2. We found like over near level 1 a new path. Yeah, which it looks like it loops back to level 2, so things are safe. But we don't know, so it's like, what will we take for supplies on a path we don't know?
It's not going up. It just looks long. So
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, you'd probably want to talk to, your dad about that. He's the one who handles all of our supplies and packing and everything, but I'd say plenty of light sources and food, especially if you're not sure how long the path is.
Yeah. We have no.
Oh, and I'd probably set up an anchoring rope, so that way if you do get lost, if there's other turns and tunnels and everything, then you can just follow the rope all the way back.
Yes, we
were leaving marks, so that work. I think that works good too, right?
Yeah, like we put in the holy symbol of yellow for where you shouldn't supposed to go, so next time people come by, they know not to go there.
Why would you not want people to go down this?
We found some south side mushrooms.
Some what now?
Well, you know how Dad had says like you're not supposed to deal with the south side mushrooms because they're not as good as the ones in the north side mushrooms, and that there's some things wrong with it.
Our friend touched one, and he was a bit weird for a moment, but just for a moment.
Yeah. See, that's why we put the warning sign of the holy symbol.
Oh,
Don't go there.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, stay away from those mushrooms. That's I'm surprised there wasn't a locked door in place to keep people out from that. We'll have to.
I know. Like, you would think people would do that, but again, that's what the holy symbol is for.
I'll have to mention it to the exploration committee and make sure they go replace that door. Or the lock on it, or whatever, because you should not have been able to get up to that area.
Agreed.
But good job marking it for everybody.
The path is going directly opposite way, so we are not going back to the mushrooms again.
Definitely never again.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, that all sounds on the level, and that would be my advice.
Okay, do you know where Dad's at, Papa?
He's just in the workshop.
Okay, I'll see him, your Dad, in there. Thank you, Papa.
Oh, and anytime. And he goes back to what he was doing, which it turns out was lifting weights.
Bye. Thank you, Nira. You're a big help so far.
I didn't even know we weren't supposed to open these doors. I'm whispering.
I know, right?
It was just locked doors. We have to open locked doors every time we try to find something.
How else are you gonna find the good stuff?
Exactly.
Does Nira think she's a scavenger, but she just robs people? I'm finding all the scrap all over, but there's always these locked doors in the way.
Well, she knew in town everything belongs to somebody, but she was just training and putting things back.
Yeah,
Maybe,
but
sometimes.
Yeah.
Usually.
Besides, is it not the same thing? It's just you're stealing from the dead. Is that not what scavenging
not
is about?
stealing, just
Finding a use, because the dead aren't gonna use it.
Reusing it.
It's recycling.
No. It's mostly about taking a look. I just want to know what's inside. I
love
don't
it.
take everything I find.
I'm all for it.
How else are you gonna learn things? Like, you always gotta take a look. How else are you gonna know what's inside that book? Oh no, it's coming back!
Okay, so we're going to your dad.
Yeah. Which essentially
So-
looks like Junkrat.
Yeah. So he's in sort of the next room over, like around a corner, and you see him sort of hunched over at a workshop table, soldering something together. He's paying no attention to you at the moment because he's so focused on what he's doing. He hasn't noticed you walk in.
Billy pulls out 2 of the spoons and claps them together because the sound of silver hitting to each other is going to be more attention grabbing than anything Billy can say.
Weird family dynamics.
So yeah, he lifts his head and goes, metal? What?
I know!
Oh. Hi, Billy.
Isn't this so good?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I didn't expect you until tomorrow.
Well, there's a thing about that, Dad. We found a path that's gonna let us be an extra day or so, and Papa did say, like, it's only gonna be a half day, so it's okay if we miss out on school, so we were thinking maybe, like, it'd be best to have some more supplies, because again, as you can hear, we found some good things.
It's a very
Like these
promising
smokes.
trail.
Well, I suppose that would be fine as long as your other dad said it was fine. If he's okay with it, and that's all right.
Yeah, Papa said it was fine.
Okay. Well, sure. If you need to take an extra day, that should be fine. Just be careful. Don't remember always wear gloves when you're dealing with metal.
Yeah,
And
and I got knuckles for anything that'll want to fight back.
ooh,
Well,
where did you find those? Those are Well, don't let the lawmen see you with those. They're they're not technically they're illegal, so
How are
I'm
they
sure
illegal?
you're.
Papa has them.
Well, he has a license for them.
Yeah, and Papa's trained me how to do things.
So yeah, just, if anybody asks, just tell them that they're your dad's, and you took them with permission. And
Yeah,
I'm sure that'll be fine.
yeah, but I was wondering more like if you had any supplies or things like we should take with us, because it's gonna be longer than what we planned, and what we got is only for like short time and not a long time, and it's gonna be a long time, and we only got supplies for a short time, and it's gonna be a long time. So we thought it's best to resupply, then we go back to the
Right,
clubhouse.
Now, you said it was going to be an extra day. Is that what you mean by long time?
Yeah, because like instead of it being short, we were gonna be right back. It's gonna take more time, which is longer, because long is short more than short.
he just means the path is long. That we will not be taking long, but the path is very promising, but it is long.
Yeah, and
So Billy, given that you're trying to logic your way through this, roll speech, and then Mira, if you would like to assist, you can.
can I have the just? I want to call this before. Can I add like the D6?
Yes. By the way, the cast is at 5d6 now from
Whoa.
the Twitter interactions and a couple of holdover upgrades from the last game, and the donations and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure so that way, because I really need to roll well here.
Hello there.
So yeah, feel free to use that d6.
And that was a mighty fine roll.
Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna be enough.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
definitely enough.
Hope so.
There we go. So yeah, that all seems perfectly logical to your dad. He's like, oh, okay, sure. Well, if you're going into a new area, you want to make sure you always have plenty of light and some way to trace your steps. So,
Yeah, we are marking our path.
With a holy symbol.
Oh, right. Well, that's good. Just make sure you have plenty enough of that stuff to mark the
Well,
whole
I only
trail.
got
And
the one can, but like this is why we thought it was best to
excuse me.
check back at home base, get more supply before we go out and spend longer time. So, wondering what supplies like we could grab to take with us.
All right. Well, go in the closet and grab one a pack of those emergency flares in case you run out of torches or batteries or however you're lighting your way.
Okay, anything else? Because out of character, this is me trying to get as much supplies as possible.
In character too.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of food, and I'm trying to think of anything else. He might suggest like water purification tablets or something like that.
That sounds good.
That seems
Okay,
like
grabbing it. Anything else you think I should grab, Dad?
Well, I mean, you're only going to be gone for a couple days, so that should be plenty.
Yeah, but well, you know how it is. It's better to be over prepared and to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And since we're gonna be out there longer than we were planning, like again, this is my first, like on our own, me and Near on our very first. Do you not think we should be prepared for everything?
Well, I mean, should probably have extra rope. I mean, you got food, right?
Yeah, I grabbed me 15 cans. I don't know what kind of food they are, but I know they're 15 cans worth.
Right. Next to the flares, 2 boxes to the left, 1 box down. There's some sea rations in there.
And there's a can opener in here. I didn't think of that.
Take that with you as well. You'll need that for the cans, but you know how sea rations work, right?
Well, that's the one where I pour a little bit of water on it, and then it puffs out and becomes big food, right?
No, that's something else. Sea rations, it's like a little biscuit. And like the 1 biscuit is all you need for like the whole meal.
Oh,
I
those
suppose
were
you could
the
put-
ones that the dad was complaining when he went on the date and gave him that instead of some nice bread, wasn't it?
Yes, he's not a fan of them.
Okay.
I mean, they're I don't know why not. They're practical. They're practically bite size, and they have all the nutrients you need for the whole meal, and it's perfect.
It's like I don't get why he doesn't like that or the fruitcakes. They're so packed with nutrients. Like, who doesn't like a good fruitcake?
And apparently your father, but
I know, but oh well. Thank you. And Billy kind of like kisses him on the cheek.
he'll sort of pat you on the head and like, you're a good boy, Billy. Go have fun and be careful.
Thank you. I'll see you whenever.
Yeah, we'll see you in a couple days.
Bye.
Then, bye. And after like they're a few feet away, I'm going, oh dear God, thank you so much, Nira. You saved me from
Wait,
lying.
you didn't say the weapons are illegal. Scavenging, opening, looking inside, but illegal weapons?
Nah, but again, like Conrad's probably in the clubhouse. He's probably working on that.
I was
thing,
scarier.
so-
I was more scared than you.
I know, but that's why, like, I figured, like, if you were scared, then I can at least pretend to be brave, so
But
that
if
you
they're
wouldn't be
illegal, you
scared.
don't be supposed to showing them in town.
What
you
are we
didn't
supposed to
know
be
they
showing
were
in
illegal.
town?
I didn't.
I forget. Okay.
The brass knuckles.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Pulls out some gloves and just puts it over the hands, so there's just little bumps, but no one will actually notice.
Okay.
It's smart.
Besides, What do we need them for if we have the pickaxes?
Well, I kind of have a heel that's out to get me, and let's just say that not everyone liked the fact that I gave up boxing to do scavenging and possibly luchadoring. I got someone that wants me dead as a shorthand. And it's just me, and I thought it's always best to be prepared. Because I don't think it, but it's not like, hey, the mortal enemy is going to follow
Is
us
he a
back
scavenger?
down. No, he's a boxer. But he's been
And
upset.
he's in town?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
So on the trade, that won't be a problem because they are left in town.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay,
That's good
so
to
we got
hear.
everything. So let's go to the clubhouse. Like, I'm betting Conrad finally finished that thing, which I've always been bringing supplies to it. Magic's probably to have a good story. Hey, while they go off and go.
Yeah. We need to let him go to
Yeah,
say.
let's go on and check on.
Yeah. And we're going to the clubhouse.
Okay. So you make your way to the clubhouse. Conrad and Xavier, it's been a little bit of time since we we panned over. Have the two of you been doing anything different, or still pacing and fretting?
Yeah. Pacing and fretting
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I think just
stressing,
being terrified mostly.
being very conflicted.
Okay. In that case,
Yeah.
Billy and Nira, you walk up and Magic's like, oh hey, so yeah, it's been fine. Conrad said everything inside was normal and fine, and Xavier said it wasn't, but I mean Conrad's.
That's not good. Nothing's fine.
Well, I mean Conrad's the one that always tells the truth, so I just assume Xavier's just trying to get out.
Yeah, but
Okay.
also Conrad, also the one that's always saying things are not fine.
Exactly. Conrad is lying if he's saying everything's fine, and you should worry and freak out because there's nothing you can do to change it, and you will all die.
Right.
So one thing you do not want to hear from Conrad is everything is fine.
So we should probably look in there then.
Yes.
Okay. So he unties the door and opens it up.
Oh, hello. Chum.
You see Xavier's not tied up.
waves.
This wrong.
What? I couldn't help but overhear your sort of hysterics as you arrived. In my defense, I said that everything was going as I expected, and I did predict that things would go terribly, and they did. So,
Well,
So are things fine?
went terribly. No.
well, they're
No,
mostly
they're not
fine. I feel like we've made a lot of progress. I think.
So Xavier said things are not fine. Conrad said things are fine. Things are not
Well-
fine.
Exactly.
I said
What happened?
most.
I was freaking out, and the bindings just froze and fell off.
We manifested our dark
froze.
powers. We manifested our dark powers.
I'm concerned. I'm very, very concerned.
You can all notice basically rope confetti all over the floor where Xavier was standing.
Well, I'm glad I didn't use my best rope or my good rope.
What? Sorry, our lives are on the line, and you used your worst rope.
No, I said I used my okayest. I didn't use my best, and I didn't use my good one.
I see.
So
You've got a strict sort of categorization.
I appreciate this pragmatism.
yeah, like
I imagine that you would, Xavier. Yes.
yeah, like if I thought you guys were an actual threat, I probably would have given you the bad rope so you could escape.
I see. I'm flattered.
I am a very big fan of this logic.
I'm poking the confetti.
It's kind of soggy, but otherwise
Really,
it looks like
I
normal
now
rope.
have a new appreciation for you.
Doesn't have any dark magic feel to it.
It's just-
Magic? You may want to
much
go
fun.
check on your parents before things get worse.
Yeah. Let me go do that. So he
I
takes
really
his
had no idea that you were so pragmatic, Billy.
he takes his manga book and stuffs it in his pocket and runs off home.
Oh, and Xavier, do you ever clean your room?
I know!
I sometimes. Not
You can
often.
break your neck when breaking there.
I know. Like, I once went over just to give him his homework because he was sick. I nearly fell down on slipping on some books and went down the staircase.
Yeah, exact.
Well, they say all the best geniuses were sort of very messy.
But
Perhaps
a
it's
mess
sign
is
of
one
intelligence.
thing, and breaking your neck is other.
Yeah.
I. Yeah, but knowledge.
Yeah. But knowledge. That's a fine
Okay,
argument.
anyway, I left the message. Everything's all right. Nobody has.
Excellent. You left the note for my parents.
I
Yes.
wasn't able to, but Near was.
Wait. Didn't
Wait.
leave the message?
Well, I said like I wasn't able
What,
to
so I-
leave a letter to Conrad's mom because
Right, but I gave you a letter that sort of, in my sort of master plan, I had agonized over the a way
But
to
you
sort of
left
word
the
things.
letter.
yeah, with
Right,
the
right.
uncle, not the
Right.
mom,
Okay.
which
Excellent,
I feel
that's-
like there's
okay.
a reason. Like that's
that's
not
fine.
good.
That's perfectly fine. My mother's a very busy woman.
If you say so.
Yes, I mean it's you know that's how it goes. Yes, I sort of wrote the perfect kind of you would be very proud a cover story, skillfully weaving around the truth to ensure that no one would be sort of worried that there was any danger we were facing. So that's excellent. I can only assume that you just sort of left it without a word.
Not without a word. I got us some food.
Oh, delightful.
Yeah, 15 cans of it.
Awesome.
Well, we'll be well fed. I can't say the same for my family.
Yeah, but
Suppose
we're
we can
gonna
only wait and
find
see.
some things. We'll be rich and famous and all that, and we'll bring that back, and we'll get to pay them back.
Certainly.
Yeah, we'll get to the surface. We'll find a concave, a paradise, and we can bring them along, so it'll all be worthwhile.
Wait. And that was the moment it hit me. Did you say dark magic?
Yes. Actually, speaking of which, Xavier seems to have a much better grasp on it than I. I was only sort of able to make my bindings a little bit soggy.
Yeah, it's
I-
basically science we don't understand.
Sure.
Billy, that is a perfect explanation for it.
Keep in mind, I don't understand how they get the water to go down and then back up. So
Right. It's a magical world that you live in.
So
Revan?
I see it.
I mean,
So, about the time that you're having this conversation, off of a shelf in the treehouse, a dog-looking rubber duck falls onto Nira's head, and it lets out a squeak as it sort of hits your head and compresses, and the squeaker seems to break all of your concentrations. You completely forget what you were just talking about. And
what were we talking about?
I screech and jump on Billy's leg.
Okay, I'm sorry. What
Listen, it's a sign. It's clearly a sign from some higher
I'm
power.
sorry, Billy. I didn't mean
it
to
is
use my clothes.
or lower power.
Well, I understand that, Nira. You were trying your best, but remember, go with the slap before you go with the nails.
I mean,
Xavier, did you
it might
conjure this
be-
dark
it might-
creature?
no, but I think it was conjured.
Well,
Okay, can somebody please undo my bindings? They won't stop.
yeah,
anything.
okay.
Just be careful.
Yeah,
So-
I'm being careful. It's simple slip knot.
So, Billy, what was your recall on your character? It's a passive skill above all the active ones.
I forget.
Mental
What?
health education. Oh, it's auto-calculated too.
It should say just
Uh,
under your
It'll
training.
be right above all your all your active skills, so it should say passive
Oh,
skills.
okay. Yeah.
The one
Oh.
that's auto-calculated.
A 3. You vaguely recall that this rubber duck looks familiar, and you vaguely recall tinkering with one at some point, and maybe this was it. Some vague recollection of trying to make it more powerful, louder, or something.
Oh, this was one of your inventions, wasn't it?
I'm poking the duck.
Mine?
It makes loud squeaking noises that distracts
Huh?
everyone. It's an
certainly not one
incredibly
of my-
distracting noise.
Not one of my most inspired pieces.
Yeah, that's probably why we all forgot about it.
Sure, perhaps better that we had.
Yeah,
That's actually scary.
Let's
That's
go.
good for scaring people.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, we should
And
keep
I-
it with us.
you
they
can
fucked-
keep it. I
fucked
ain't
it up.
touching it.
Yes, perhaps it has combat applications. Well done, everybody.
I packed the duck.
I'm keeping it in my pack.
I
Conrad,
already packed.
okay, Conrad, what about your special project? Did you grab it or like? Because I don't know what it was. I just brought you some supplies to it, so I don't know what it is or what it
Right.
looks like or anything.
No, I think just sort of like in like a side room where Conrad had been like spending some time for the last like little while, I guess. There's like a big sheet thrown over something. And he just sort of like looks at it for a moment and looks back. Well, I don't know. We ended up getting very existential, sort of immediately after you left, and the sort of numerous crises that we faced kind of took up most of our time today.
Okay, well, like while like we're waiting for magic to come back, why don't you see if like you can make any last additional things, or at least get it so like you or me or someone can carry it.
Why?
But what does it do?
I don't know.
It was just a personal project. Nothing for us adventuring, certainly.
We've been working on this for over a year where I've been bringing you scrap things. I don't know what it is, but if we're not going to come back, I think we need to take it with it, even if it's partial. Like maybe one day you figure out what the whole purpose of the thing is and you complete it.
I walk over to it. I'm just about to make some shit up, Raven. If that's some stuff up. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
Is
Go for
is
it.
that okay? Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. I pull the cover off the top, and it's you can like only faintly make out some of the details on it, the sort of like artwork that was on the side of it, and it's like cobbled together. It's a mishmash of like exposed electronics and replacement parts and sort of faulty wiring, but it's an arcade machine for like whatever this universe's version of Street Fighter is. And it's sort of like player 1, player 2, and everything. And Conrad kind of just like sheepishly looks at the floor and back up, and he says, "We just I know how important sports have been to your life, Billy, and I sort of I have never been able to really engage with you on that level, by virtue of the vessel I'm
It's okay.
working with."
Hey, just because you can't do a double suplex does not mean that you can't do anything. You're a great hype man, okay?
Right, but I mean, I thought maybe one day if I could get the rest of this up and running, we could sort of even if only in the world of zeros and ones, we could wrestle.
Yeah.
We could throw down. We could just sort of have some fun here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Like-
and everybody. I mean, this is I can't speak to all of you, but my life at home is cluttered and loud, and everyone's lovely, but this place, sort of run down as it is, has been. I love it here, and
Yeah.
and you all.
Yeah.
And I don't think I want to finish this today, even if I might be close, because if it's not done, if it's still down here waiting for me, then I have to come back.
Okay. You got it, buddy.
That makes sense.
I walk around the machine to check the back of it because I'm curious. Probably even more open electronics.
There'd be a little stool to the side so that like Nira can reach the controls as well.
No. I'm just
adorable.
taking a walk.
Yeah, of course. You would see it sort of doing a lap. So no, I think first we sort of conquer the Dark Lord using our newfound powers, and then we play Street Fighter.
Well, okay, but are you sure like this can't help? Because I don't understand this, and so that means it's science I don't understand. So it's magical, which means if we have to fight a Dark Lord, you already got some magic on your side that this Dark Lord doesn't know about.
From all the research that I've done with Xavier's aid, the best that I can piece it together, what they once called video games were a kind of magic, Billy. And I hope that we can sort of share in it together someday.
Yeah. So wouldn't that help you get an edge on it? Because like, I don't think Mothman's the only one out there. Like, there's got to be this Dark Lord we probably has who's in charge of that murder hole.
I feel like your sort of
Reaching.
illegal weapons might be put to more use than our than this arcade machine. But
You
I
sure
feel
it's
inspired
magic?
nonetheless.
Okay, but what does it do?
It doesn't do much. It
Lets
it's
you
sort
play
of-
a game.
Yeah, and that's
it's
gotta be some
recreational.
magic.
It's just for fun, Nira. Just
Okay.
something we can do instead of fending for our lives or homework.
Oh,
Well, homework is a lot more fun than that.
I would disagree, but like,
Everything
okay.
is more fun than homework.
Think of it as a sort of carrot on a stick.
Yeah.
Billy. Yes, if we come back, we can get it working in short order, and I can show you what I mean.
Okay, that's a promise. We come back, we all together will make this work.
That's a promise.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking another tour around the machine.
Okay.
So-
About that time, Magic does come back, and he looks pretty bummed. And sort of shuffling his feet and his head's down, he's like, so, I can't go with you all. I got grounded.
Oh,
Why?
I didn't do the dishes before I left, like I was
Oh.
supposed to.
And Billy
Oh.
pulls out one of the dishes like this.
one of his dishes.
How did you... Why do you
We've
have...
spoken about this, Billy, about sort of what scavenging is and what theft is, right?
No, like we found this. Like there were some plates in there, and like
Mm.
there were the metals, forks, and the spoons.
Yes, and you reach through an open window to grab them.
No. I remember he found them in the room with the lockers.
Yeah. Unless they locked
I see,
up
I
your
see.
dirty dishes.
I remember that slightly.
I think it's the principle of the matter more than the sort of the dishes themselves.
It's the principle
magically-
of the scavenging. You take the things you find on the trail.
Yeah.
Are you certain, Magic?
Anyway, yeah, let's go back
Yeah,
to magic.
that's that might be why part of the reason they were upset then, because they kept saying like that I hid dishes or something, and I was like, no, I just didn't wash them. Yeah, that's probably what got them upset. Anyways, I'll have to catch back up with you all once I'm not grounded.
Hey, hold on. Before you
Certainly.
go and pulls out at least one of all of the metal silverware and gives them to Magic. Like, these are that's your part.
All right, thanks. Maybe this will make them not so upset about the missing dishes.
Hey, in worst case scenario, you could probably trade them because they're metal. Probably get a good deal.
All right,
Incredibly pragmatic.
I'll give it a try. We'll see. Maybe I can shorten my sentence.
Yeah, buy your mother some gift and maybe she'll shorten your sentence.
Yeah, did you try bribing your family?
That's
Maybe
what
that's a good
this
idea.
is. That's what this is.
How inspired?
I usually don't have anything to like bribe them with. They're not really into like the whole comic thing. So, yeah, this might work. I'll try it. I'll catch up with you all.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Well,
And,
Thank you.
yeah, and you know if you need to find us, we'll be down the murder hole.
Right. Right.
Uh,
That's
sort of reach out and adjust his fashion hat. Stay safe.
Mm.
It's gonna be pretty safe stuck in my room for the next couple of days, so should be all right.
All right.
Yeah, I'll catch up with you in the murder hole. And
Well, if we don't come back, tell everyone at school that we were super awesome adventurers and that we defeated the Dark Lord and made it all the way to the surface.
I'm a wizard.
And that we're both wizards, yes.
And Mothman says hi.
Yes.
right. I'm not sure how well they'll believe me, but I will do my best.
Well, that's fair, but just like if they don't believe the Mothman, just say like, okay, it was just some suit that had a pole in it and not actually Mothman. I just thought it'd make for a better story.
But I'm definitely a wizard.
Right,
but
right.
don't do it tomorrow. Give us some more time.
I don't get
Right.
why you'd say you're a wizard. You're not Harry.
Oh, that was so bad.
Low hanging fruit.
Woof. Woof. I forget
So,
which, what was the like made up book series that Xavier was obsessed with? Was it like this universe's version of the Hunger Games or something? There was some fiction book that we lost in the Mushroom Lake.
It was
I can't-
Frankenstein.
I don't think it was
Oh, it
Harry
was
Potter, though.
Frankenstein. It was
It's
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. That's right.
So yeah, Magic's like, yeah, all right, well, I gotta go or they're gonna ground me more, so I'll catch up with you all, and he sort of shuffles off.
Okay. Be safe.
Bye.
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 In the stage whisper, I hope he's not infected.
Oh dear.
Oh no. I now have concerns.
Now. You now have concerns.
More concerns.
More concerns. Well, I suppose the two of you already made your way into town. If this is some sort of contagion.
Yeah, actually, you're right. If he was infected, we would be too, and we will know soon.
Yeah.
So it's fine. We've endangered the last bastion of civilization already. What's in for a penny?
Let's go.
Let's go. And then there were four, right, chums?
Yeah, and look on the bright side. If we're not there, we're not gonna get grounded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they can't ground us if we're dead.
Exactly.
Exactly. Good.
I have nobody to ground me, so I feel like I gain nothing here.
That's
Well,
okay.
no.
Nira. That just means like you'll find something else.
We can ground you if you want, Nira. If you're missing out on this sort of authentic experience.
Not particularly, no.
Okay.
I wouldn't suggest it.
These kids are so wholesome. All right, so do you head off to the as we've come to call it, murder hole now.
Yes.
Wait, one more thing.
Yes, well, oh yes.
No, not one more.
On my last trip around the artifact, let's call it this way, I'll see if there's something loose and shiny on the back side.
I'll leave that up to Callan.
Yeah. I mean, it would be like a bunch of scrap gathered around you. You would see some choice bits. Do you want to lap?
No. So I take something very small and very shiny because it's how I think about it. If we're not coming back here, then Conrad needs to have some memento about his great invention, right?
That's very cute.
That's
This is
adorable.
without us seeing it, I'm assuming?
No, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm when I'm totally hit by the machine.
Yeah. I
So
guess Conrad would also kind of just do a lap of the clubhouse, the treehouse,
So,
kind of just like.
do I manage to take the thing without being seen?
Do a blend in roll. But I think everyone's sufficiently distracted that
Yeah,
it's not
I
going to be
wouldn't
hard.
looking.
Yeah, because it sounded like you're doing it exactly as we're
And
reading.
D6.
It's not your best sneaky work, but with everyone being
No, not my
even
best.
so, with everyone being so distracted, it's fine. They don't notice, and you get like it could be like a transistor or maybe like a joystick.
It's a doohickey. That's how it goes on my
There
inventory
you go.
list.
Yeah.
A video game doohickey.
Yeah.
That works. Perfect. So, with all that being done, we'll fast forward a bit, and up to the point where you reach the entrance to the tunnel, the murder hole tunnel. Unless, is there anything that you wanted to do between the clubhouse and there?
Just
Uh,
wave goodbye to the
fine.
city.
Okay.
Yeah. Take Stacy back up.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. You get your bat and you head up there. And yeah, for Billy and Nira, the murder hole seems a little bit more sinister than you remember. The air coming out of it is a little colder. You just have this sort of heightened sense of something being not quite right. But for Conrad and Xavier, it seems a little more inviting. It's more welcoming. It doesn't seem that much colder, and
It's
um,
it's shiny.
it's downright
shiny.
it's downright homey to you for some reason that you can't really
Yeah.
describe or explain.
I feel that the sort of moniker of murder hole may not be entirely fair. It's a tunnel. It can't be inherently malevolent, right?
Okay, no murder hole. It's a torture tunnel. Yes.
Well, it's a hole.
Homey.
It contains a murderer, so it's a murder hole.
Well, it hasn't
Okay.
done any murder. What am I saying? Very clearly a murder hole.
Yeah, see, well,
Deadly
find the Dark
dungeon,
Lord,
torture tunnel.
yeah, we'll
Xavier's
find the
just
Dark
running
Lord,
ahead
and we'll help
while they're
get out,
discussing
and
this.
we'll save the day.
Well, wait, Xavier. So, our two options were, going to level 3, right? The two unexplored parts. We're going to level 3 or onwards. That's right. Down the torture tunnel.
Conrad,
Right.
you wanted to go down this hole. We
Right,
got
I also-
ourselves supplied. We are prepared. We are supporting you.
Xavier stops, turns back. Are those guys going to hurry up?
Well, we're looking for answers, right?
Okay,
Billy
the worst
face
thing is
palms.
splitting up. So let's go.
Squeaker
Let's go.
Squeakerson? Like, you sure you want to
Yeah.
come along with us, Stacy?
Ask Stacy. Good.
Uh,
Ask Stacy. We will already ask Stacy what she thinks about the whole.
She's not huge about it.
the bat just kind of goes.
Sweet.
A lot on her mind.
So, which of course is this particular bat dialect for? Well, there was this one time that my cousin-in-law went down this tunnel, and they didn't come back. And since then, none of us really go down there. We kind of assumed that they were dead, but nobody really liked them anyways. So it was kind of like whatever.
Squeaker, fair.
Stacy does not seem to have a particularly healthy relationship with her extended family. They seem kind of like jerks.
Yeah, but I understand that. But like, not every family is lucky like ours.
No, certainly. It's nothing but sympathy. I hope there's some
Xavier is
camaraderie.
waving glow sticks.
I'm receiving some subtle hints from my compatriot. Let's onward.
Squeakerson, like you, we're gonna go in. If you want to leave, here's the point to leave, Stacy.
So she's just gonna go, which of course means, well, I've stuck with you this long. It beats flying around by myself, so I'll come with you.
Squeakerson, thank you, friend.
Glad to have you on board.
Cool. So this is an important question. As you head down, Xavier apparently has glow sticks that he's using.
We all got some.
Yeah, I think.
Yes. Is that the light source that you're using as you go into this very, very dark tunnel?
And Xavier has the flashlight. Xavier has the flashlight.
The helmet thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
tied to his head.
All right. I should rephrase the question. What light sources are you actively using as you go into the pitch black tunnel?
The flashlight and the 2 glow sticks.
Okay.
Billy is probably going to pull out a book that no one actually cares about, like the Bible, for example, that's on a piece of stick and just lights it on fire, or with their flint.
Oh my God.
Maybe not a religious text, Billy. We don't really know what forces we're working with here. How about something just sort of unanimous, like a TV guide?
Billy already done it.
So you take out
really?
this copy
That
of...
wasn't one of my books, was it?
No.
I approve.
So you take out this book that's we'll call this the history and mythology of the Church of Light, Volume 1, and you somehow attach it to a stick and set it afire. Did you just burn the book, or did you treat the book with anything, or just straight up
Xavier
lit the book on fire?
is
Put it on fire. Like, literally.
Yeah.
The whole
As
thought
long as
here
that's
is, like, this is how Billy is gonna bring some light into this hole.
Okay.
As long as it's not one of my books, I don't care.
The stick, is it wood?
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, it's a torch with a fuel source that'll last for a good long while. Because there's got to be lots of pages, and I don't expect it to be a quick burning thing. It's lasted for so long.
If we make it back, Billy, remind me to sort of sit you down and give you just a brief overview of the concept of irony.
Okay, but I don't think this one's really important. Like, I found got 3 other ones of these in I found, so it's pretty common to find.
No, I can't imagine that would be relevant at all. Anyway, let's go search for the Dark Spectre that marked myself and another of our good friends.
Yes, let's rescue the Mothman.
Conrad, don't worry. I have a copy of that in my room.
Yep, sort of the principle of the map. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's a good omen, actually. I think it's quite promising. It's bright.
Conrad,
It is-
you seem to worry too much about everything.
Yeah. Yep.
It is very bright. It is very bright. And it burns.
And I got
it
another
does,
one if we run out.
It does burn a little bit faster than you had expected, but it's not like up in a flash or anything like that. You realize after it's burned for 30 seconds or so, like, hey, I might need some other light source in the next 10 minutes or so.
It probably pulls out another gun.
It's a good omen. I like this.
Nero, what light source are you using?
As usual, I'm not using any light source. I'm just working with the light the group has.
Okay.
Usually I would not advise burning books, but it's Billy, so.
In that case, as
If
you
Xavier is okay with burning any book, then I'm more than okay.
Yeah, it's not like this was one of those that I found in his room and slipped on. Yeah,
It better not be. It's
of course, it's not.
Fine.
Otherwise, even if it was, it's not like it matters. It's already on fire.
roll charm, Billy.
I really hope I fail this because this is so dang funny.
It's hilarious.
Excellent. Really powerful stuff.
So Xavier,
Oh.
you're not entirely convinced by Billy's explanation.
Xavier goes pale.
It's fine.
It's already on fire, so
Would you say that that Xavier gets angry, or is Xavier more like just like?
Oh, incredibly disappointed. Not angry.
Okay, you're not mad, just disappointed. Okay.
incredibly disappointed. Just like,
Okay. Okay, as you head deeper down into the tunnel.
I guess I didn't need to read them 4 more times.
I got another one in here.
As you head deeper into the tunnel, after a little while, there's a sudden gust of very cold wind that comes from deeper into the tunnel towards you. As it does so, the book goes out, as does the flashlight on Xavier's head. Only light left is the chem lights, the glow sticks, which paint the walls in a very eerie green dim light. And as you all sort of look around at each other, you hear a somewhat familiar by this point low
I know,
I
right?
gaze into darkness.
You will not harm Mothman!
As you gaze into the darkness, we're going to take a 5 to 10 minute break so you all can stretch your legs, get some water, bio, whatever you need to do. We'll come back and we'll find out what's going on with this eerie wind.
I
So we will be-
love how the eerie wind made the
Right.
same exact sound Xavier did.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe the Mothman's
I
just
know,
disappointed.
right?
Be right back.
Like,
Hey, and we're back. So, as we were saying, you hear the and Nira peers down the almost pitch black tunnel, and
And
go ahead
Xavier's like,
and do a sight roll, Nira. Also, that's a bit like what the tunnel looks like if you see the picture on the screen. Let's see what that roll was.
16.
16. You see nothing. And by that I mean you don't see anything. Not even an outline or like a shadow or anything like that. Just beyond the glow of the glow sticks, you see nothing, which is a little disconcerting.
It's dark, weirdly dark.
Okay,
I mean,
got
darker
an
than
idea.
darkness.
I got an idea. And Billy pulls out one of the glow sticks, snaps it, and then just chunks it as far ahead of them as Billy can.
and Xavier does the same thing.
Okay. Quick question just for clarification. Are you breaking it apart or just cracking it so that it
Like
activates?
activating it.
Yeah, because you have to crack it to the chemicals to react.
Okay. That's what I figured, but I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page with you.
Never be sure with Billy.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd like to argue, but there's too much evidence.
So
Yeah.
you crack the sticks and you toss them, and for a brief moment you see a little bit more of the tunnel, which just looks like more of the same green glow, mostly smooth walls, and then they blink out. As they get further away, there's no light at all from them that you can see, anyways.
I got a very dumb idea.
I'm listening.
Okay,
Um,
there is an old tale, and I do not know how accurate it is,
Mm-hmm.
in which the actual what they did with the same paint for the holy symbol, they would put on their fingers, do it right underneath the eyes, and then touch the ground and make a circle. And it would make someone in the area be cleansed. I have no idea if it'll work. I have no idea if it's a good idea or a bad idea. But I don't see what else we can do when science is not working. And I don't think your magical thingamajiggies will shoot out light.
well, I do have a question for everybody on that note. Let's start with Nira. Nira, how would you say you are feeling right now, not being able to see that far into the darkness and seeing those glow sticks just blink out as they go a certain distance?
I think I will still go with my usual curious.
Curious. Okay. Billy, how would you say you're feeling about the situation?
Billy would be thinking how to like in other people's point of view, this would be a case of process of elimination.
Okay.
While Billy is just going to like, okay, that's not working. I'm going to try this, and not really caring about the consequences. Just like, I got to fix it. There's an old tale. Maybe that can work.
Okay. Xavier, how are you feeling about this?
Terrified.
Awesome. Conrad, how are you feeling about this?
Also terrified. Perhaps also thinking just internally that maybe we shouldn't take spiritual advice from the man holding a burnt Bible.
I know. That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Okay.
But you know.
So let's start with so Billy, while you're working on that plan, let's start with Xavier. So you're terrified. This terrified feeling, do you have a sense of I need to fight the darkness, I need protection from the darkness, or I need it to not be dark?
I need it to not be dark.
Okay. Give me a
Please.
magic engineering roll.
Okay, that's much more realistic. That's a 13 plus 2 is 15.
15. As you have that feeling, the walls of the tunnel have this sort of eerie, ethereal outline to them. It's just a slight glow. It's not lit up, but just for you, you can see the outline of everything that's in this darkness. Conrad, what's your reaction to the darkness? Do you want to fight it? Do you want protection from it? Do you want it to not be dark? Like, what's the foremost thought in your mind of just instinctual, this is what I want to do with the darkness?
As is always the case, Conrad would be worried about himself and about his friends, wanting everybody to be safe as the lights start going out.
Okay.
He'd much rather that than see whatever it is that's in the darkness. Being safe is more important.
Okay. Then let me have you roll magic engineering.
Sure.
I was expecting to get like a 1 or something. So.
Hey.
Hey, not bad.
Wow.
In that case, everyone can see this. The green glow gets a little bit brighter as a literal like sphere of ice forms around the party. It's not super thick, but it is sort of an ice barrier, and the light reflects off it a little bit better, so you can see inside your little sphere a little bit better.
This is much better.
And Conrad and Xavier, you're both starting to feel a little bit more aware of how this is working, like how to tap into that power. So it's not quite so random.
Yeah. This is good. This is very good.
Am I
You're
aware of
scared.
the fact that I did that?
Yes. Not sure exactly how you did it, but you know it came from you.
Mira doesn't know that, so she's just scared by something appearing out of blue, and she's jumping again behind Billy.
Don't worry,
Right.
Nira. I did that.
Well, I think. Yes, no, it's not often that I say this, but there's nothing to be afraid of.
That means everything should be afraid of now!
Yes, no, we live in a
we should
topsy-turvy
not.
world now, Billy. But I find myself trying to
are
calm
well
you down.
protected.
No one's comfortable here. I also can't speak to how well protected exactly we are. This is a thin sheet of ice that we have conjured.
I would beg to differ. We are very well protected. You did a very good job.
Well, the ice is blocking the sort of way forward, so I think this has just given us a brief reprieve more than anything else.
I approach the wall and pow it.
It's
Bill,
about an
Solid
inch
ice.
thick. You definitely wouldn't be able to punch your way through it, but like those climbing picks, you could easily, cut a hole out
Billy
with a little bit of effort.
pulls out of a pocket a little bit of mint, like the mint flower,
Okay.
kisses it before her just blowing it out. Like,
Okay. What
Did you
is the
also cast the spell,
significance?
Billy?
no idea. I'm going off of old witch tales and things that I've read in a cartoon.
You are fascinating to me. You are sort of
I was about to say the same thing.
only capable of being entirely pragmatic, sorting every rope that you have into a strict categorization of its quality, or kissing flowers in the hope that magic will come from them. I
I love it.
just love you.
I'm trying everything here. You said everything is fine. It's not fine.
Well, you're coping very well.
It's
This is not me coping. This is me scared.
Billy,
don't.
so one sec, Gwen. Billy, as you are being scared and you throw that flower out, and in the process you shuffle your feet, you kind of uncover something in the dust, big and heavy and metal, as you inadvertently kick it. As you inspect it, you find this giant, like, rock-crushing sword thing.
Ooh, this is gonna make for a good scrap.
Yeah, it's...
Nira, like, would you say like this would be kind of like on the high grade or not? Because I don't think I've dealt with something like this before.
It's
Like, if Billy's picking it up, just like
I like it. I think it's.
What kind of metal is this?
This came
This
from
time I'm poking with claw.
this came from Masked Player Gaming for the guild coins, and let me see if I got the picture here. I believe this is the picture. Looks kind of like that. So it's not sharp. It's rather dull, but it is practically the size of you, Billy. And it's heavy.
so. I need to make a might roll, is what you're saying.
You can, like, carry it and whatnot, but if you tried to wield it as a weapon, it would be a little cumbersome, yeah.
Okay, do I have to make a might roll to pick it up and absorb it? So that's what Billy's doing
No.
right now.
No, it's heavy, but you're able to lift it with a little bit of effort. There's no roll needed.
Wow, your mint made a sword.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a powerful spell.
No.
It's
Trust
heavy
me.
and it's good metal. It's worth a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is it's a case of where I tried something outside the box that would remove myself from thinking and allowed myself for new opportunities to occur.
Outside the box, but inside the sphere of ice.
Uh-huh.
Right.
I know, it's one of the things my
I like it.
is.
That was a very good spell, Billy.
Yeah,
It was not a spell. I kissed a mint and blew it.
Okay.
That wasn't a
Maybe-
spell.
Maybe
have a lot to teach us.
we are in some weird space where magic happens. I will try too, and I try to conjure plate with a fish.
Okay. Roll magic engineering.
Ruh-roh.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, probably not much. 11. You're tempted, aren't you?
Oh no.
Michael just spent some guild coins.
Oh no.
I'm
Red
gonna adapt this a little bit. So yeah, you try to do that, and nobody else sees this, but you do. You see just like the sort of faint glowing outline of a plate, and as you kind of look a little bit closer, your foot kicks something, and it's a fish skeleton that was in the dust, and you're not sure how to explain how you know this, but it was a red herring.
Hey,
Of it.
Well,
we're all so powerful. Nothing can stop us. I mean, Nina, obviously, sort of, it would take some practice to
kind
conjure
of
it. Maybe,
misfire, but it works.
right? You need it to be a little bit more specific, but
Conrad, please stop saying scary words like that. You don't say things like things are fine. We are
Yeah,
powerful. What
you're
is
always-
wrong with you?
you're always telling me to be optimistic, Billy, and now we can conjure things without. You just made a sword by kissing a
No, I
flower.
did not make a sword. I found it on the ground.
Well,
Yeah, I didn't.
It appears to me that you made a sword.
I think this is a
Well-
matter of perspective.
That makes no sense. How can I manifest a sword?
Like
What
the
is
Mothman.
wrong with you?
It's
don't
a
know.
fish in a cave. I just made it. It's not exactly entire fish, but it's a good start. We're indeed magicians.
No,
I like it.
This
We
is
should be
masterful.
worried for anyone thinking that.
Oh, I'm very worried, Billy. I need you to understand there are 7 or 8 layers of anxiety that I'm sort of projecting through to get here. But
And why aren't you showing? Why am I the only one freaking out at this? You should be freaking out and I should be calm.
I think we're fine though.
Quick question for everyone.
You've got a big sword. I feel safe.
Given that you just found 2 things in the dust on the tunnel floor, does anyone inspect the floor or take a closer look at that sword?
I will take a closer look at the sword, of course.
Okay, so Billy's currently holding it. So you,
And I, out of player would like to if Billy was not already freaking out, so I can't justify.
okay. So you go up to Billy to look at the sword. Go ahead and roll education. Yeah.
Yay. Ooh, I'm gonna re-roll that because learned.
Nice.
That was a nat 20.
Okay.
plus 6, so 26.
Which, with it being a nat 20, basically makes it a 36.
We know about swords.
So yeah, you're able to tell that this is very, 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 very old.
Wasting all my nat 20s.
Yeah, it is pre-descent old. So, looking at the design, some of the inscription on it, which is in a language that none of you quite recognize, seems familiar, but it's not quite the same as the language that you currently read and speak. You kind of figure out that this was not so much used as a weapon as it was used as a sort of mining implement to break particularly difficult pieces of rock when they could not fit full-scale machinery into a particular place. It was also you can use, just straight up muscle with it, but you also remember some mythology that you read where it said people would use some sort of light magical power to basically wield it as if it were not so heavy, which made it particularly effective as a manual mining tool.
Huh.
Right.
Well, they didn't use it as swords per se, but more like bludgeons.
I'm good with bludgeon. That's a bat, right?
Yeah.
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 Like a giant metal cricket bat.
They also used to use light magic to make them lighter.
Oh, what? What did they go? And Billy holds it out really straight. When I go out, oh, by the light, will you bring forth unto me a mighty power? Like that?
According
okay.
to the texts,
Can we just circle back?
It's not clear.
Do the rules of magic abide by sort of puns? Plays on words? Like light magic making something less heavy? Is that the sort of... I have no patience for cheap sort of goofs like that.
Okay, if that's the case, then I could just say, oh, sword, won't you be the light of my heart? And it would light up. But it's not going to do that.
Well, your heart isn't in it, Billy.
My heart is in everything. It's in me. It's in... Why wouldn't my heart be in me?
No, you're 100% all the time. I'm sorry. You're right.
Hey,
I'm just laughing about
Billy.
because I didn't realize it until...
I honestly did not intend that to be a pun, which is hilarious because I usually do make a lot of puns, but that was entirely coincidental. But Billy, do a gut feeling roll for me real quick.
That's fine. It was a 6.
Oh, okay. For some reason
I don't see it.
it didn't show up in roll 20. That's weird.
I can see it in roll 20, but not in the on the stream.
I
Yeah,
cannot
it's-
see
It is
it
indeed
either.
2 + 4. Yeah.
plus
Let me
0
try-
plus 0.
Let me refresh. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there
okay,
it
my
goes.
roll 20 is just taking a
Hey.
really long time. Okay. In that case, with a 6, would you like to use a d6 on that?
No. I
Okay.
think it's funnier if it's a fail.
Just
Okay.
nothing happens.
Yeah, you are just continuing on doing what you're doing.
Well, but at the very least, it'll sort of give you a good workout, lugging it around.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
yeah,
until you-
yeah. And then
Until you
Billy
master
just
your
kinda-
powers.
Billy starts to swing the sword right next to the wall, so A can look really cool, and B might have some spark against the wall.
Oh goodness.
Okay, go ahead and roll might.
And this is one of my good stats.
Wow. Nice.
So just want to make sure I'm on the right page with you. You're trying to like scrape it against the wall to try to make sparks, or you're trying to like smack the wall?
Sparks.
Okay. So yeah, you do so, and like everybody else, you're probably in awe of this display because it's really really cool, and especially in the
Absolutely
darkness.
in awe.
In the darkness, the sparks, light up the little sphere. It looks like almost like fireworks, or what you imagine fireworks might look like if you had seen them. Yeah, it looks amazing.
What a
Hey, this
strange
is so
day.
much better than burning.
As entertaining as all this is,
Yes.
let's keep going.
Some
Yeah.
progress, perhaps. We're still within the bounds of this sphere of ice. Nira, you
I thought
you
we
and
were
I-
walking and talking.
No, you're
did
still in the sphere of
No,
ice.
no, no. We were
Yeah.
not leaving the area. I'm wondering
Oh.
what to do with the fish.
Yeah, you and I seem to be sort of the most keen of perception amongst the group. We had reason to believe that this tunnel was it wasn't featured on Xavier's map the first time as we
yeah, as
passed
far
it.
as I remember, yes.
Right. Perhaps now would be a good time for us to stop and investigate this scattered debris. Well, okay. Our working theory is that we conjured these things from.
No, we did
from
not
nothing.
conjure it. We found it.
Okay, so
Our
positing
working
that.
theory.
Exactly.
Well,
That would mean that they are.
you definitely conjured the ice ring because we've just stepped through the space where.
Yes, that one
the
seems
part
magic.
of it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
See?
Yeah. Fairly unambiguously, but
Yeah. See that
um,
we can't explain. This
And that
sword and
fish,
light. Yeah.
Does it look very old to you? I'm handing you the fish.
yuck.
If
mean,
you
it
don't want
seems-
it, I'll keep the bones.
It's
Billy's
is that
swirling.
how
I-
scrap works?
I want to
I-
look around
I
to make
hand
sure
it to
there's nothing
Billy.
on the ground anymore.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's just while we're in the safety of this circle, let's survey the area, look at the ground, see if we can find any
Okay.
explanation for what this place is.
Well, if you assume the sword and the fish are just findings, then maybe indeed we should search for more. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay,
go.
and I'll just keep spinning this sword
Well, all
because
right.
I'll light up things. It's nice to be the bringer of light.
It's
Ah,
cool.
yes, that's you.
Very cool, Billy.
Good. Yep. All right.
I see what
Everyone
you
just
did there.
sort of.
Big
Go,
claps.
go ahead and roll might again for your theatrics with the sword.
Oh, right.
It's just
20.
it's just a 20. It's not
20?
that impressive.
Yeah, I mean it's lost a little bit of its flair and novelty, but yeah, you're still
Arm's getting tired.
you're still making sparks and you're managing to not hit the ice or any of your comrades, so you're doing a good job.
I'm happy to
Uh-huh.
be the shortest character here. I will
Yes.
live the longest.
That's it.
I'm waiting until I can roll for something.
Yeah, what would you like to do, Xavier?
I would like to investigate.
Okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead and
we are.
roll.
We are everybody is searching apart from the Billy. I feel.
Yeah, but because Billy is creating a light, would this not give the rest of the group advantage while investigating?
Not really, because it's like a strobe light.
Let's just
So,
look in the first place, maybe.
Yeah, the glow sticks are already providing enough light to kind of be able to see, especially with the reflection of the sphere. It does help, but it's not enough for an advantage.
Oh,
inspired.
well, I had to try.
It was a valiant effort.
So what am I rolling? Oh, what's that?
So if you're just trying to like search through the dirt,
Uh-huh.
I would say sight, or I could even argue naturalist.
Ooh.
Yeah,
If you're trying
well,
to
if
search
it's-
through dirt to
if
see
it's
something that's not supposed to be there.
If it's sight, it's 23. If it's naturalist, it's 25.
Heyo.
You know,
So I
yeah,
rolled a 19.
I
I'm
get a
doing
dumb
my
idea.
usual with side rolls.
Yeah.
Could it
What's the
be
dumb idea?
while Billy is doing the twirling thing, it's helping kind of like
So
clear the dust and
I'm gonna
stuff
say because my
nearby?
naturalist is a 6. I'm gonna say it's 25.
Sure. I would just be examining the walls and trying to work out if this sword has anything to do with this tunnel appearing since the map was last made, because it seems like it's been excavated recently. Trying to see if it's by
Sure.
magical means or it was mined by somebody.
Gotcha.
And I'm gonna do naturalist roll to see if like the twirling the blade reveals anything by like pushing away like dirt and stuff. Like,
Just excavating some more.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll say a combination of the new source of wind, the sparks, the brushing off with your hands and everything. Collectively, you do a pretty good job of inspecting this whole area. And Billy and Augur. So yeah, the first to address the walls. The walls in this part do look a little different from what you saw at the entrance. They're a little bit rougher and seem less like they were magically made. Deductive reasoning, you're able to tell that this tunnel probably already existed, but the entrance to it was either caved in or purposely blocked off, or something happened so that it wasn't accessible, and then something else happened to make that oddly perfectly spherical smooth tunnel into it. Xavier, you do find little bits and pieces of random scrap. You find like a broken cinder block, kind of half buried in the dirt. You find some copper ore, just raw copper ore, little bits and pieces. And you find a mostly buried metal sign. There's just like one corner of it sticking out of the ground after you pull some of the dirt away.
A what?
A metal sign. And
Ooh.
you can kind of make out that there's an E on the sign, but that's all you can make out because the rest is buried. A diggy hole.
Strange.
I would say here's your sign, but none of us have a name that starts with E.
Right. Billy.
It's not a sign for any of us.
Billy, maybe put the sword down a moment. We might need your physical prowess.
But I have some copper ore.
Oh, excellent. Well, actually, that is quite useful. But perhaps, Billy, could you help us lift this sign out from the under the debris?
Billy puts the sword just like on the shoulder, and then walks over and like lifts up the sign with the other free hand.
Goodness me.
Okay, give me a might roll to see if you can kind of yank it out of there.
Yeah, that's Billy.
24. It takes you a couple of pulls. So like each tug at it loosens it up a little bit more. But after about 30 seconds or so, you're able to pull it out, and it looks like a sign that probably went on the wall. And it actually looks. I'm going to pull up the picture so you can see. The writing on it looks much like the writing in this picture, where it says Echo City, and then underneath of that it says mining. So Echo City Mining.
Is that the name of the city that we know is supposed to be above us on the surface? Or was?
Yes. Yeah, you do know from previous roles and whatnot that Echo City was the one that's supposed to be on the surface, but it's
Goodness.
also was supposed to be a myth. Like, people don't actually use the word Echo City. It's like Atlantis, if you will.
Right.
People don't think it actually
Oh.
exists.
Billy,
Well,
I got an idea.
How
Hold out your
staggering.
arm.
Excuse me?
Just hold out your arm.
You've got a sword.
I know, and Billy puts down the sword. That's not what I was thinking. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking, you put out your arm. I pull out some rope. We tied this sign to your arm. You got yourself a shield.
ah. That's
Me?
great.
Yeah. You, like, here's the idea. You got the magically. He made this thing, so you can go like pew 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 pew, and anything that comes at you, you can just sign, baby.
I
It's
really like this idea.
I mean, once again, it feels like once you've sort of got that energy about you, Billy, everything you say sounds like a good idea. Yes, please strap this sign to my arm, sir.
Yeah, and I will get you my best rope too. Not.
Excellent. Pulling out all the stops.
And Billy does, and it's like has like multi-tiered like corded rope, where like the little bit of it seems a little reflective.
Oh, the fibers.
Yeah, like you notice, like Billy rarely pulls this out
It's the good
now and
stuff.
has it tied around, and if you want, I can make a naturalist roll before I describe it anymore, or I can go on description.
No, you're fine. With your knowledge and supplies, I'm not even going to make you roll. You can just make this into what's basically a tower shield by proportions to Conrad.
Yeah, and I'm involving like 2 slip knots with a butterfly knot in between, so Conrad can just pull on the actual butterfly knot to tighten it or release it.
Okay.
Goodness.
By the way, that shield will give you +1 to absorb and +1 to deflect,
Ah,
stats
Really?
wise.
I feel so safe. And
I know.
uh
I will stand behind you now.
oh, I'd not thought about that. Well, hang on, you could have it, Billy. Wait, no, stop. Let's go back.
No. You want to do the pew pew pew. You made the ice thing, okay?
Well, I don't know that want ever entered into it.
See, here's the thing. Like, you made that from a distance. So that means, like, you can be the ranged one. While I use the sword to strike down our mighty foes.
Right.
So you be from a distance while I go in there.
I don't think that's supposed to be used as a sword.
Okay, you're saying a sword should not be used as a sword?
Yeah, you knew that wasn't going to work, Xavier,
It's
right?
It's more of a blunt instrument, so like a bludgeon, like
Xavier.
a bat.
Look at the sword. Look at Billy. Let's take the L on this one, I think. I don't think this one's going to happen.
Even I'm not buying this one, Xavier, this time. It looks like a sword.
He's got the sword. That's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I suppose.
I'm just saying, if you hit someone with it, it's gonna hurt, but it's not going to cut them.
Well, that's the purpose of a sword. And like, again, it's not. We gotta make it like we have to refine it, but it's not gonna be anything more than a fancy club at this point, unless we find a metallurgist. If we can get a nice decent of heat, and then go in with a hammer. Oh, do you think like maybe the Mothman can have us an anvil and a flame?
I don't know that
I'm
the
loving this
Mothman.
idea, Billy. I'm loving
I don't know that the
this.
Mothman is a kind figure.
I will absolutely
Mothman has
help
to be
you.
a kind figure. He gave you powers.
Mm.
Mm,
Let's let's table that, all of that for a moment. We've got a sword, we've got a shield.
I'm not sure what's the link between mods and anvils.
I'm also,
Kind
that
of
seems a
opposite.
little dubious to me.
But I think the idea is sound, in that we could find an anvil and refine the sword.
Sort of make it more proportionate. It would lose
I
some
don't
of
think
its
we
rustic
need it to be
charm.
proportional. Okay, this just looks badass.
Yeah, well,
And
perhaps,
again, I'll grow into it.
yeah, and Billy just needs to master sort of pun magic. And
As,
then,
Okay, that just sounds like I'm setting myself for some punishment then.
pun. I don't.
Oddly enough, that you say punishment, because as you're having that conversation, you all hear some cracking noises, and look over at the ice sphere and can see that it's starting to melt and crack and
Okay. all right.
is in danger of
Into
collapsing.
battle! And
yeah.
goes right.
Let's go.
Well, I suppose you're behind me this time, Xavier.
Uh-huh.
Invitation open to you as well, Nira. This shield will cover a great deal more of you than it will us.
Billy should stand in front of the shield, right? Right, Billy?
Billy has already ran towards the cracking ice.
He's charged ahead.
Okay, let's go.
It only takes you a few steps to get to the ice. Do you try to charge through it, or do you
Yes.
stop? Okay.
The roll Billy was.
Awesome.
Excuse me.
We are slowly falling behind, I believe. Right, Conrad?
Follow-up question.
Yes.
Do you try to charge through it with like your shoulder, or do you try to charge through it with the sword?
With the sword!
Okay. Roll might. Let's see what happens.
That was a question.
Yeah, why it was even asked.
Yeah, I have to ask. 19. Would you like to use a d6?
Yes. Because
Okay.
this,
Just a little.
I can reason. That makes it a 20.
Wow.
Perfect. That is exactly the amount that you needed to not have something not great happen. So, yeah, you hit it with the sword as you run through it. And it slows you down a little bit because it doesn't like just immediately shatter. But a couple seconds later, a decent Billy-sized chunk of this ice sphere breaks away and you run through it. And immediately you are in pitch black darkness, except for the glow stick that you have on you, assuming you have one on you.
Yeah, because cracked one open. I believe.
Did
No,
you,
that was the one that got thrown away. Yeah, let's just say, like, for a retcon it in that Billy cracked 2 and threw 1 away.
Okay.
Because that sounds easier.
Still have
all right.
one.
So there's a dim glow, but yeah, you're immediately enveloped by the sort of stifling darkness around you that feels probably pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, can Xavier try and conjure more light?
Are you going to make a conscious choice to try to use your magic?
Try.
Okay. Go ahead and roll magic engineering. And describe like what you're thinking
Wow.
or what you're feeling as you try to do this.
So that was a 19 plus 2, which is 21.
On
Xavier's
fire
just
today.
think. I don't know how I rolled a 19 and then another 19 in a row.
Okay.
Anyway, so Xavier's just thinking, I don't want it to be dark. I don't want it to be dark. I want it to be very bright. I want it to be as bright as possible.
Okay.
I don't like dark.
Then do you say anything as you do this, or do you just sort of like think it?
No, Xavier's saying this out loud. I
Okay.
don't want it to be dark. I want it to be bright. Make it
Perfect.
bright, please.
As
Please make
as
it bright.
you do this, you don't create any lights or anything like that. Excuse me. However, the sort of miasma of darkness, if you will, is dispelled. the tunnel goes back to normal. You can see the glow stick further down the tunnel.
Oh,
And your headlight lamp starts to work again.
Oh, hey,
Did you do this?
well,
I tried.
Good job,
I guess
Xavier.
I did.
excellent.
May Mothman be blessed!
Well, all right. Let's let's sort of wait until we learn more about this figure.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the figure, as you are having your little celebratory conversation, a few seconds after the lights, or not the lights, but the darkness goes away, you hear from further down the tunnel this sort of gurgly, whispery, "Turn back."
No, we will save you, Mothman!
Oh God.
I mean, I love the energy.
Yeah. And Conrad and Xavier, you no longer have an urge to continue down this tunnel.
Yeah. Speak for yourself. I definitely do.
Let me put it this way:
No,
you know,
yeah, the
you no longer
magical-
have an outside influence giving you an urge to do this.
Yeah.
I should phrase it
Just
that
all
way.
of the many inside
Xavier
influences.
doesn't need one at this point.
Yeah, and the whispered encouraged Billy to go forward.
Exactly.
I am less encouraged by the whisper, but holding up the shield. If this is a mining project of this lost city, then this tunnel, there is a path we could follow that would take us to the surface from where we stand right now.
Exactly.
Outside of any cave-ins or any obstacles we may face along the way, this is the most promising path forward.
And Billy kind of slides up, just going, and think of the scrap. So
Think of the
much
scrap.
things like they've never used that we can take advantage of.
Right. And also a way to cure the life-threatening illness facing myself and Xavier.
Sure.
Sure.
Wait. If you are doing all these things, light, ice, then actually, what's bad about this?
Well, didn't we hear that all the people corrupted by the darkness or some
Exactly.
such, they perished?
Well, most of them.
Right.
We also heard about a few, very, very, very few surviving.
Yeah. Like the Mothman.
Yeah, but these are old tales. Like, so maybe the darkness that kills people is the same as the living outside thing. There are no tunnels and other fairy tales like that.
So
Right.
far, fairy tales have turned fact today. So
Perhaps.
Billy
Wait,
has
that's
a
not
point.
the
Billy has
direction
a
I
very
was
good
trying-
point. there.
Actually, that's an
that is
incredibly good
bad.
point.
That is bad.
You kissed a flower and made a sword. Perhaps we should leave logic at the door.
I did not kiss. No. Okay. That just allowed us to not focus on the fear,
It's
to step outside and observe the situation. I did
It's
not
baffling.
magically make a sword. How many
baffling to
times?
me.
I,
The things you
Not
really
know
won't
of
accept.
science of thought.
I agree with Billy on this one.
Maybe all the people who got corrupted also discovered magical powers and immediately ran to the closest, most dangerous place to where they lived, and that's how they all died.
No.
Which means that we'll be heroes along with having scraps. They'll tell of us for years, even after us. Just like the cap, the American ass guy.
I am not familiar. You seem to have a much firmer grasp on the folklore of all of this.
Well, there was this guy that wore the flag of this country called America.
That sounds made up.
America? Was it America or America?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. But onward to save Mothman!
Yeah.
Onward at the very least. Shield up.
Find scraps and fish.
Hello there.
I am not arguing with Billy at this point. I'm just saying, yeah.
We are very confused, clearly.
Yeah, very coordinated.
In that case, as you head forward, now able to see, short walk later, you come across sort of a, not necessarily like a bend in the tunnel, but it does start to curve to the right, and there's a little alcove to the left as this starts to curve, and it looks like it might have once have been like a guard shack or something like that, or maybe a campsite where someone would stand guard. There's definitely like a little ring where someone had put together some stones to make like a fire pit type thing. There's a dilapidated sort of half collapsed bench, and sort of a foot locker that also looks like it's falling apart. And sitting on the collapsed bench is, well, I mean, it can really only be described as a skeleton in armor.
Fascinating. I think we should go this way.
Not the first word that comes to mind.
There be armor there for you to wear.
No,
It's happening
I
again.
think you should definitely wear it, Billy.
Hang on. Let's. This
I
is.
know you said Foot Locker, but I wanted to hear Food Locker, so I will check that first.
Okay.
The food locker.
Yeah.
Also, it should be noted this armor is way too big for any of you. It is a large adult-sized
It's
armor.
grown-ups.
Yeah, I think Billy would have the best chance of wearing it. However, we need to fix it. Make it.
I don't think it would be good for me to wear. I think people would just stare.
Well.
Exactly.
Yes, more so.
That's kind of half the point of it. Half the point is to protect you. Half the point is to make people stare at you.
This has been such a weird day.
I just noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Just noticed that Billy got another Buster rhyme from Alex.
Oh,
Oh,
We're
I
dealing with
know of Alex. For that, I will relics.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh.
Oh, you wanted this, and I shall bring it on to you. For you of thee, of C, will see the B of thee.
He's melting.
wait, what's going on?
Oh my gosh. So,
Out of character, I have to have a rhyme which someone redeemed with coins for
Yeah.
a rhyme.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
5
it's
minutes
okay.
is the time.
yeah,
There we go.
4 minutes to go. But real quick, though, Nira, you said you wanted to check out the locker. Go ahead and roll sight on that.
Oh no.
I believe in you. Take my strength.
Whoa!
Oh yeah!
Nice.
Yeah!
Natural 20.
Redemption.
That was like a heart of the dice moment. All right. So let's see if I can detail everything about this footlocker.
It's
Please tell me
base
those
components.
Please tell me
Point
this
to it on
movie.
the table of elements.
Yeah.
Even the crumbs that might come through in any rounds.
Oof.
I know how bad these are, and they certainly are not rad, but as some certain person redeemed, so for here they be.
And hopefully they're not sad.
Oh my god.
Well, I
so,
can go on as long as you want it to go round and found.
So this locker, The lid seems to be all in one piece. It's made of some material that you've never seen before. It's looks like plastic and it feels like plastic, but if you go to lift the lid, you can tell that it's definitely some sort of metal, and it's unyielding. It opens, but you could tell, like, if you were to try to break this lid or try to bend it or something like that, you'd have a really hard time with it. The rest of it is kind of falling.
Container is worth more than actual content.
As far as salvage goes, the lid might be worth a lot. You're not sure because you've never seen this before, but it's definitely sturdy material and lightweight.
So what'd you find inside with your eyes?
Yeah, what did I find inside?
As you look inside, most of the rest of it was made of some sort of inferior metal that has rusted away. So it's falling apart, but inside you do see, let's see, you see some sort of, it looks like a little metal ball, has some sort of electrical component to it. There's no wires or anything like that sticking out of it, but you can just kind of tell that whatever this is, it's electronic. Does not seem to be functioning at the moment. You also see a little, what looks kind of like a computer screen next to it, a little handheld tablet type of screen that is also non-functioning.
So is it a wreck or is it a spec?
I will leave that for our technicians to decide. Maybe
Yes, for Conrad the Rad.
Well,
So I will turn my attention back to the lid. We'll try to pry it from the rest of the container, and I will point the electronics to Conrad to check.
I don't know how. Out of character, I have a 6 in mechanical engineering.
Yeah, but it looks like similar to what I've seen in the Conrad's machine, so I'm thinking of him as my first.
there's some distinctions between mechanical engineering and tech engineering, right? This would be the
Yeah.
latter.
This is definitely tech engineering.
Yeah.
This
Okay,
is like
so-
Conrad. If you looked at it, and maybe even Xavier as well, you'd immediately recognize this as pre-descent tech.
Oh.
And that's the end of the rhyming.
Oh.
Yay! That's the end of the time
That's
for any
great
rhyme?
timing.
Yep, you're free now.
the rhyme time.
Oh, you think
Oh.
I'm free? I believe, but you shall see. I can go on, for any can be found around.
It just goes.
On
just
and
goes.
on and on.
Grand.
As
Your head
yeah, as Billy is sort of spiraling. Yeah, I can sort of like walk up and peer over near his shoulder. Oh, this is marvelous. My this is a little bit smaller than some of the components I normally work with. But my mother has sort of. I mean, she would be amazed to see something like this. Could I have a closer look, Nira?
Yeah.
Maybe able to ascertain its function.
I wanted you to take a closer look.
Of course. Find his keepers, but
Can I help?
I have my share of this container.
of course, yes.
Lead.
Yeah. And to to confess,
You're welcome to any
Conrad
content that
is the
was inside.
best.
I don't know what that would do, but if there's anything I could roll to ascertain its function, or if it could be of any use to us.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll tech engineering.
Sure.
I would like to help.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Okay. So we both
Yay.
roll.
Yeah.
Roll.
Excellent.
Quick reminder also, the cast has 2d6 and a switch.
Yes!
I've got 3d6
I have
and 2
no idea
switches.
how I keep rolling so high, but that's a 17 plus 4 is 21.
Okay.
Also a 17 plus 6 is 23.
Sweet. So between the two of you, you're able to ascertain that this is probably some sort of like drone. The ball probably rolls or maybe even hovers if some of the old fairy tales that you've heard could be trusted.
Which
You've
they
never
seem to
seen-
be trustworthy so far.
Yeah.
Hey.
You've never seen anything hover before, but perhaps this does. Your best guess is that this is some sort of surveillance drone. So that one could, if it were functioning, potentially see in places that they couldn't go to physically or were too dangerous to go into physically. But it's currently not functioning, and you're not sure how to activate it at the moment.
Ah, it's a floating camera.
Fascinating. Yes, it seems this whoever this figure was, brief reminder that everyone else seems to be a little bit less bothered by this than I. We are next to a corpse. This person was some guard or
Conrad,
yes.
I gave you a corpse to handle half an hour ago, and you are not that scared. It's just a skeleton.
No, I was scared of the fish as well.
Sorry.
No, it's quite okay. I can understand why you'd assume that I'd be able to handle that much. That's not your fault. But
Yeah, it's understandable that the scale did not ring much of a bell.
Really? Are you all right? I'm starting to think that perhaps Xavier and I are not the only ones facing some sort of corruption.
What? Can
There
you
appears to-
attest that these words are the best?
There seems to be some outside force influencing Billy's actions here, and I can't put my finger on exactly what.
Corruption of chaos.
Yes.
What? Do you
No, but
think
this-
it's like some black feather or curse? That would certainly be the worst.
One level above gibberish, my friend. Just inscrutable. This device seems to have been some sort of farcier, letting this figure perhaps venture into dangerous or
Some
out
agent of
reach.
chaos is lording over you, and that's not boding well.
No, certainly not. I don't believe that there's anything within our means that we could use to repair it. But if it's not too cumbersome for us to carry the disparate parts, we might be able to make some use of it later. Or at least,
Yeah, they're very lightweight and would be easily carried.
So what was exactly the size of the lid?
The lid is about the size of say like a standard size computer keyboard in length,
shoebox.
and twice that in width, or in height.
Would it be bigger or as big as Nira? Because it sounds
Yeah.
like
Standard size keyboard sounds a lot like Tower Ship Nira this time.
Like if you were to take two computer keyboards and put them next to each other so that it forms sort of a square instead of a rectangle.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like that big.
That's big. That's really
Yeah.
big.
So even bigger than Tower Ship Nira. Okay.
Nira. Maybe this one is your shield,
Actually,
and you could wield.
I think it's too big, but it's very light, so I guess that makes it work.
Billy
pardon me
pulls
for-
out the good rope and gets it ready to tie it.
Okay,
Is near.
okay. You convinced
Pardon me for one moment. I need to be right back, but continue to talk about the shield and what you're going to do, and I will be right back.
Sure.
Nira's shield to wield. Yeah.
I have
Yes.
shield, I have an axe. I feel amazing.
Yes, and Nira does like the very same thing had done with the sign. Gets the best rope out that's multiple cords and semi reflected, so like any light could come into it, it will be reflected off, and does like the two slip knots with a butterfly knot in between, so that way you can release it if you need to very quickly and just drop it, as well as you can tighten it. Because the nice thing about a butterfly knot is it's got two sides of a knot on there, so you can pull on one side or release on another, and it's similar to like the sailor's knot.
So I can tighten it, I can lose it.
Yeah, much like with Conrad's, like you just have to pull, and if like an emergency you need to drop your shield, you pull the rope, drop it, and can run away.
I'm not leaving my shield. It's worth too much.
I know, but knowing Raven, there'd be a choice of where you have to choose between injury or the shield, and out of character, I want to make sure you can run away if need be.
Oh goodness.
Not sure if I will be brave enough to run without it.
Yeah, all of this weaponry sort of is skipping over the fact that we still haven't really faced a true bit of roughhousing yet. The closest we had was your daring escape from the mushrooms.
I'm skeptical of this, corpse here.
No, it's very much dead.
Yeah, but just because it's dead doesn't mean
yes.
it's not going to fight
It's
us.
still an object of some concern. I would be quite.
On that, yeah, I'll just put the armor stuff in my bag.
Well, no, hang on. Look, with respect, Billy, let's
not
it
let's
was a
not
person.
take the armor of the corpse and
Why not? Why
Speaking
not?
of the corpse,
Let's take a closer
Corpse is
look
not
first.
gonna need it.
let's
I'm
just.
Closer look first, stripping the corpse later.
Okay, how about if I just whack it with my sword first,
No,
and then
yes,
That's
No.
very disrespectful.
this was a
absolutely.
person. No,
I approve. Do it.
I do not.
Do it.
How did this person die?
you're
I was
right.
gonna say, is anybody going to look at the corpse and inspect it a little bit more closely?
We
Hey, I
have
would
a
love
tie.
to.
We have a tie in voting, considering that, because 2 for taking closer look and 2 for smacking it with the sword.
Yeah, because
Yes.
like if it comes alive out of character, or if Billy's just whacks it, it's already damaged, and that would allow for
Exactly.
Mira to actually investigate it without a threat.
This was a person.
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah,
I
but
love
that's
this
out of
idea.
character. Billy just
No, of course.
does not think that. Just thinks, oh, we'll whack it. Then that way, it's not a problem.
Well, actually, if we still are discussing if we should take a closer look first, and you are going to whack it, nobody is going to stop you.
Xavier is thinking, if Billy whacks it, then it's not going to be a problem anymore.
I can only hope that my remains are left in sort of more gentle hands than you all.
What? Well, why would it matter to you?
That's perhaps a bigger conversation than we really have time for right now. Also, I'm 14 and this is incredibly morbid.
What?
Let's do this then. Everyone
take a
roll
closer
gut
look.
feeling.
Oh.
Gut feeling. Awesome. Ooh, I finally got a that one.
You both
I
got
got
that
that
once?
one as well.
Oh my god!
My gut says there was no food and the fish was not fresh enough.
I got a 1, but it was after the result of a bit of math.
So
3,
Billy's the
3.
only one that did not have a result of a
one.
one rolling a nat one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with Billy. Billy, you get the feeling that maybe it would be a bad idea to hit this. Maybe it would damage the salvage that you're wanting to get from it. And it being a corpse probably is not going to, stand up and start attacking you. Literally everyone else is either, let's see, Nira and Xavier, you're both terrified of it now. You stop and think about it and you realize, no, it probably is going to come to life and try to eat us.
Yeah, that's what Xavier's thinking.
Callan, for Conrad, you kind of don't have a strong feeling one way or the other. You're just kind of like,
Sure.
it could be bad, it could be fine.
One of Conrad's flaws is gullible, so I like the idea of starting this being like, well, hang on, this was a person, and then as a few people are like, but it could come alive, Conrad's slowly like, right, well, skeletons are scary.
So actually,
Mhm.
if I'm scared now, then I will, as usual, yell, "Billy, whack it!"
Billy,
Yes, actually,
the
no, you
only
won me
thing
over, Billy.
Billy changes is how Billy is handing. Instead of going for a thrack, changes in direction to have it very like straight line with one hand kind of
Just
guiding
cut
it,
its head off.
and then
Just-
just kind of like thrusts it right into the head. So the only thing
Yes.
that would be hit is the actual head.
Okay.
Just kind of disrupting it
Xavier's-
instead of crushing it.
So you do so, and much like you're trying to break and pull with a cue stick, you just pop the head right off. The skull rolls down off the wall and finally ends up sort of next to this corpse's legs.
Xavier sighs in relief.
Now, can I take the stuff off?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
nothing happens.
I suppose if we could preserve the rest of it just for a moment, I'm not sure that I have any kind of particular medical experience.
Yes, you can now. I'm talking from behind my shield.
Nero, I think it's all right. I just wanted to have a brief look to see if because it doesn't seem like there's any obvious like sort of they're not pinned to a wall with a huge sword or anything, right? Take a closer look to see how this person may have perished, because if there's no visible signs, then that may mean that there was some airborne contagion that we may have to worry about.
Ah,
I was thinking more dark magic, not.
Yes, I feel as if sort of our
Okay,
dark magic is probably kind of just like blanket, like most of it, right? Like most of all this stuff is probably a little bit.
okay, then
that's the point.
I will do what this is something that my papa, whenever would stress out, my dad would pull out, and Billy pulls out a piece of sage and just waves it around, and I'm hoping to
summon
make
a laser gun.
magical engineer roll to see if this works.
Okay. You can certainly try. You wave the sage around, and the air smells slightly better. That's about it.
See, it smells better, so there. No problem.
Oh,
I
well,
was rolling medicine to see how it died, and I rolled a nat 20. I'm not even joking. I
Gwen?
rolled a nat 20 for medicine. That's
You're-
24.
You're not able to ascertain how the skeleton's name is Gazebo, right? You're not able to ascertain how it died. There doesn't seem to be any obvious, like there's no blunt force trauma. There's no broken bones other than, now it's neck/head. And there's no organs or anything like that to speak of, so you can't determine if like they were shot or poisoned or anything like that. There's no noticeable wounds in the armor, like no bullet holes or anything like that. So unfortunately, even with a nat 20, there's not information there that's attainable for you to find.
right.
Huh. So
you're-
they died of natural causes, is what I'm saying.
Or
Okay,
could be-
incredibly unnatural causes.
Billy
could
just
be-
goes on this to just because done everything they could, just starts pulling it off, and then puts each piece, like we'll go put one in front of Nira, one in front of Conrad, one in front of
Alright.
Xavier, and just like does that with each little thing on this guy.
Before you do, so good to know that isn't your intent. However, as you try to take the first piece off, assuming it's would it be like pauldrons or gauntlets or
Like a glove or whatever.
okay. As you try to take the sort of glove and gauntlet off, it doesn't seem to want to remove itself from the skeleton hand. And you see a tiny little blinking light on the gauntlet.
Oh.
Oh crap.
Oh.
You also notice dog tags hanging from what's left of the skeleton's neck.
Oh no.
Oh, do we know enough about the history of the world to know
I
the connotations of that?
I have no idea why people are saying, "Oh no."
You don't know what the blinking light means whatsoever, but
Do
you
we know,
do
like-
know. You know what dog tags are, because even the current guards in the city still use them.
Billy's
That's like
Billy's plan right now is to pick up the sword and then run forward.
I'm confused.
Run forward where?
Away
tunnel?
from this thing.
Oh, okay.
Like, you'd figure out when I need to roll or whatever, just like whenever. Like, you figure out when. That's Billy's plan.
Okay.
I thought we were taking the armor off.
Well, Xavier, we it would seem that this person was a not an overseer or a
I'm
guard so much
racing
as they
Billy.
were a soldier.
And
Well,
that matters.
well, it might. Their armor's still on, and it might have ways of defending itself. Perhaps ways to fend off people attempting to rob it. Which, to be clear, the distinction between scrap and stealing is quite relevant here.
I'm just we knocked its head off. It's-
Billy has run.
I
Yeah,
I
I'm
still
okay.
follow
running
Billy.
with Billy. Why are
No,
we
I don't
running?
like this at all. I don't like this at all.
Okay. So Billy and Nira both are running.
Yeah, and I need to ask Billy why we are running.
Okay.
Billy says, "Run first. We need to at least be 5 bodies away from it before we stop."
What did you see? What did you see?
I love Billy's measurement.
In that case, a quick question for Conrad and Xavier. Do either of you look at the dog tags?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they were noticed, yeah, Conrad would have like looked and then registered.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Put up character. That's part of the reason why Billy is running.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, Billy, it looked like you were going to say something before I interjected there. Sorry.
No, I literally said like that. The dog tags are part of the reason why Billy is running.
Okay. In that case, we'll say that Conrad and Xavier both notice the dog tags at the same time or go and inspect them. And you'll notice it says Delvis Gall, a serial number, and Kara City Sentinel Corps.
Oh.
And that's
Okay.
where we're going to end our session tonight. But
I
quick
was
bit of
just about to
information.
say it's time to stop.
Yeah.
Run. Not the game.
So for those who don't know, the Conrad and Xavier would both know this. The Sentinels were like the Jedi, if you will, of this society. So especially now, they're like super mythical, legendary
Wielders of light
figures.
magic.
Yeah.
Delvis was my favorite character in the original.
And Delvis was in the miniseries that led up to this series. So yeah, we're gonna stop
really
there.
wish Delvis was in more than just one episode.
Patrick
Yeah.
did a fantastic job with the character.
Yeah.
So yes, big reveal. It's a Sentinel. They're real. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
But we're gonna stop there, and we're gonna go on a raid. There's so many great raid cries potentially from this session. Throw in chat what you think the raid cry should be while we do some outros here.
Something about it's not magic.
We're
I
gonna
believe like the quote was, "Magic is a science we don't understand." I think was the thing you're
Okay.
referencing, right?
I was referencing the sword appearing, not being magic.
Well, let's start with Callan. What was your favorite part of tonight's session? And then where can we find you next? Any news that you'd like to share? Anything like that? Feel free.
Oh goodness. That was delightful as always. I liked everything that happened in the clubhouse was really cool. Kind of like continuing on from last episode, like getting to see more dynamics between the gang and everyone sort of bouncing off each other was really cool. And everyone just sort of having crisis after crisis. It was great. It was a fun time. You find me, back here next week, and otherwise prattling on Twitter about one thing or another. But no, that was lovely.
Awesome. I'm so glad you had fun. Next, we'll hop over to Gwen. What was your favorite part, and where can we find you next? Any projects you're working on, that sort of thing?
My favorite part would have to be the suit of armor blinking and everybody freaking out and Xavier just, what? I told you it might come alive.
That was pretty great.
I'm like,
What?
why is everybody concerned? We're not shut off. It's not gonna be able to see.
Of course.
It's like this
Okay.
this is par for the course. You can find me here not tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow is Hunters of Calamity.
Yes.
So more
Which is a
Monster of the Week, Borderlands inspired fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Econorlax, what was your favorite part? And where can we find you next? Anything you want to share? All that good jazz.
Yeah, well, you can find me next week here, same time, same show, same character. And as for the running, just to make it clear, I have no idea why I'm running. If I suspecting some dark magic, if Billy tells me it was blinking lights, I will stop. Oh, disappointed and go back. And as
Perfect.
for the most funny moment or the best moment, definitely hands down the moment when Callan, as Conrad says to Xavier, now you are the wizard, can I be your humble servant?
That was great.
Or something along this line. I had to check the votes for the exact quote, but it was brilliant.
That was
Thank
pretty
you
great.
for that genius moment.
Perfect.
And onto you, Michael.
Yeah, Michael, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? All that good stuff.
Well, I was gonna say what Nier said, so stole that from me. So since that's the case,
Very near a thing to do.
yeah,
Just borrowing it.
It was nobody's. I just pick it up.
I know, and that's fair. And that's
It's
what
not
Nier
stealing.
does. So I need to find myself a new one.
It was just
And
lying in this locked box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, was more for Nira. The second favorite was actually the whole slipping on the books and all that, and most of in town of just a lot of kind of every little bit of Billy was freaked out and Nira was there, because
That was cool.
because I imagine every time Billy is telling the truth or lying or trying to lie, is probably holding a little tighter on Nira's hand. I'm just a bit scared, but it's because of Nira's what got that through.
That's adorable.
It's very nice of you, thank you. Actually, but when you picked when you mentioned the what's the word, the weapons.
The
knuckles?
Knuckles, yeah. Wait, nobody said nothing about illegal weapons before. I'm just a thief.
Yeah. That's kind of why Billy was trying to make shields for the two people that are probably going to get hit.
Gearing up. Actually, that was cool. We missed having Econorlax in the first episode, so sort of getting to have you back and get a chance to see Nira in the town and saying goodbye. That was really cool, actually.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'm about here and there. you give me a GIF, I'll make you a GIF, and I'll actually link you to both that and my Twitter in a sec. I'm on Twitter as Michael Wayne, and most part, like, I'm just about helping out. I wish like I could tell you about my Wednesday thing, but when I can, I will. For most part, I'm just about hoping to playing games. Maybe one day I'll get to play with you. Remember, we're all in this together. I'm pulling for you.
Fantastic. My favorite part is probably the interaction between all the characters around the arcade machine. Like, that whole moment was just so freaking wholesome. It was fantastic. All of the feels and just like the love that these characters have for each other throughout the whole session was just amazing. So like the Billy and Nira scenes and the whole arcade thing. Even Conrad and Xavier's interactions when they're realizing that they have magic. It was all just fantastic. It was definitely a good one. As for where you can find me next, I'll be here tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, for Hunters of Calamity. As I mentioned, it's a Monster of the Week campaign inspired by Borderlands. So death, destruction, mayhem, chaos. It's pretty fun. So you can find me there. And yeah, we're gonna go on a raid. We're gonna go raid a good friend of mine, my lady Saito, who is also streaming tabletop. So yeah, go ahead and get that timer running, and then I will see you all tomorrow.
Wonderful.